Yeah, because I mean, there wasn't any post made, in the community tab.
Oh,
I don't think anybody would expect it anyway. All right, let's see here.
I see upcoming Baccano.
Should start any second.
Oh, it's live. No, it's live.
Should be live.
woo!
It's live, and we have successfully connected.
So
That's incredible. Okay, I'm gonna leave my webcam off and see if that helps with my computer not crashing this time. Just a little experiment in the name of science. We love science.
What was the
here.
problem last time?
Science.
Okay, yes, this stream, please. I can never remember how to access a stream that I started through Streamlabs on YouTube, but it's pretty easy. That's my problem. Alright, how many folks do we have in chat?
Chat,
I'm
sound
seeing
up immediately.
dash concurrent viewers.
Oh dear.
That's
four
alright.
to me.
And center, names and ages. Anyway, let's see.
Yeah, YouTube just hasn't
That's
caught up
fine.
yet. That's fine.
Yeah,
You all are
I mean,
seeing the stream on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
You give people a little time to get in here.
So has everyone seen the new Chainsaw Man movie?
You know,
I have not. I haven't seen a single Chainsaw Man.
I did see. I watched the TV Glow, or I saw the TV Glow,
Yeah.
and I know I told you that already.
Yeah, I know. I need chat to know I am very excited
It
about
was
this.
okay.
Wait, so you mean
You know,
you saw the TV glow?
I sure did see. I saw the TV Glow.
that was the exact inflection of your voice that when you said that in the Discord, being like, "It was okay."
It was okay.
Yeah,
I did, in
yeah,
fact.
I'm
I
like,
also
yep.
heard that. Like, very
No.
consistent and in character.
I was talking with my friend Brom, who had never heard of the movie. So I said, "Yeah, I saw a movie the other day. I saw the TV Glow," and he was like, "Wow, must have been a good movie."
It would. Delightful.
Sentences.
All right, I think we
How
can
do we
probably
usually start these? I forgot.
Say again, James.
I was saying, how do we usually start these? I forgot.
Well, usually we start it by saying, "Hello, YouTube chat. How's it going? It's your boy,
Hello.
Explanation Point, and his boys, the people from the Discord. We got Jams to my left over here. For those of you for the three of you who are just joining us, I am leaving my webcam off this time to see if that helps with the computer crashing. We'll see. It's just a little experiment we're doing. Anyway, to my left here, we got Jams. They'll be in the upper right corner of your screen. Lower left corner of your screen, we got Tenic. Lower right corner of your screen, we got Tom.
Hello.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Clotted Scream is
What's
back.
lower energy?
I'm eating her Hershey.
Oh
Kiss.
my gosh. I thought we'd scared them off, I'm gonna be real.
Caused quite a stir last time. Alright, so this time we're going to be talking about Baccano, the incredibly famous 2007, what genre is this? It's like a gangster thriller, supernatural?
You say it's like a
like
supernatural
almost like-
thriller comedy, almost like it's.
I wouldn't
It
call it a
feels
comedy.
like an epistolary novel.
It's very
I
funny.
guess so, a little bit.
It's incredibly funny.
I wouldn't say it's not
no,
funny,
no,
I
no,
would say
no.
it's not a comedy.
I guess that's fair. Well, I think the comedic moments are on purpose.
Yes, of course. No, I think
So-
they wrote
It's like-
Isaac and Miria to be totally straight characters.
and
And I think that we should do the rest of the stream as though that's true.
As though that's true.
I think even
I
past
described their
Isaac and
relationship as
Miria,
a lavender marriage, emphasis on the marriage.
like Lad is they are trying to make jokes with that guy being like a murderous monster, and they
Sure.
are working. He is very funny.
He's so like, ooh, he's electric on screen.
Yeah, I just unironically, taken completely straight, love his dynamic with the lady whose name I don't remember.
Ooh, Lua? Like
Yes, that
his
sounds right.
girlfriend,
Oh.
fiance?
I don't know if I'd say girlfriend. Hostage.
Well, that's what he describes her as. Okay,
Sure.
yeah, I guess.
Well,
He
look, it's
describes
not
her as
mutually
girlfriend,
exclusive,
lover,
right?
fiance.
You can be a girlfriend and a hostage. I guess you're right, Tennant.
Exactly.
No, I think that
You are
that
a
is
regular
incredibly
guy player.
interesting.
You can enter a room.
Like, I'm a fan of the intentionally toxic, horrible relationship that everyone involved loves.
Ah.
Like, I love weird relationship dynamics.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Do you think-
just a
do you think
relationship
Lad
that's
is
based
introduced
with
entirely
her
on the
being like,
idea that this guy is
"Love
going to kill
you."
her someday, and that is what they're both into. Like, yeah, that's fun to watch. Let's go.
But is she
I'll
into it?
explore
She
these
just
people.
seems completely indifferent, right?
I don't know that she's indifferent.
Well,
like,
okay.
the only way to
It
read this
seems
is to
like-
read into it, right? Because we don't really get much from her. But I don't know, just from her facial expressions and the way she, like, very demurely goes along with it. I don't know. She's either been totally broken over the years, or she's just a strange person.
Maybe
I
a
would
combination of both.
Sure.
I would surmise that by her mannerisms and like how like shy and demure she is, you would say that like she's along for the ride, but she's never actually like opposed to it. Like he says multiple times like I'm going to kill you and you're going to love it. And she's just like, yeah.
She never says yes, I don't think. I don't remember her ever agreeing with her words.
That when I say that,
just
I don't
goes,
mean
"Oh,
like
lad."
she's agreeing with him. Yeah, she's just like, oh yeah, you
But
know,
like
lad.
that is absolutely part of their dynamic.
Yeah.
And that's just fun to dissect for me.
She never gives explicit consent,
Something in
but
the ambiguity.
you get the impression that she is actually still into him.
Yes, into him, definitely.
Yes.
It feels very Stockholm
Climbs
to
on
me.
the train for it.
It feels very Stockholm to me, but it feels like it started that way. Like,
It started as a
Yeah,
Stockholm thing. Fascinating, because like she's part of the group of guys where it's like, yeah, these are my crazy friends who like to do murders with me. And then he also introduces her as part of the group, like, and also this is my girlfriend, lover, and fiance. It's nice to meet you, sir. Just like
Yeah,
she just
he
says this
always
like
has
it's normal.
to. He always has to like add on like this is my gang of hooligans, and this is my girlfriend who is not a hooligan, but she is also still here.
this is my gang
Like-
of hooligans and girlfriend.
Yeah.
My gang
Yeah,
of
actually, what-
girlfriend.
Why did he need to take her for the trip again?
Well, he wants her around. He loves her.
Yeah, he's
Fair
in
enough.
love with her, man.
You wouldn't bring your girlfriend, lover, and fiance on vacation.
Well,
He's
I don't
gonna
know if
do
I'd
some
call this
fun
a
murdering.
vacation. Well,
She is
look,
part
it's a
of, yet
vacation to
separate
him.
from the gang of hooligans. She wants to be involved in their activities.
she wants to? I mean, to be honest, I don't feel like she wants anything.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That is another read of Lua, is that she's just such a, what the fuck is the word? Anhedonic person.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
She just gets no joy from anything, and so she becomes a thrill seeker because that's the only thing
Oh,
that she
the opposite of
can
hedonism.
feel.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what? That would make a lot of sense because Vlad does also say something like, as the person who loves life the most, I'm going to go around killing everyone but you, and then you'll be the last one I kill.
You know,
And
that's
she's
true.
like, oh, Vlad.
I did forget that he said that.
Yeah, actually, now that
There's
I think about
something
it,
about
what
it.
is the qualification? When does he decide he's killed enough people to kill his?
Well, he always says that he enjoys killing people who are sure they're not going to die. and it seems
Yeah.
like she is pretty sure that she's going to die. Like, she's like,
Maybe that's how she stays alive so long,
I
by
don't know.
being constantly in fear and knowing she will die by this guy.
Yeah, no, that's the intentional part of their dynamic, I'm pretty sure, is that she is either, like, just in love with the guy and goes along with anything he wants, or is his hostage who has Stockholmed herself into, like, fawning for survival, or she's some kind of snuff fetishist. Like,
Yeah.
whatever's going on here, she is certain that he is going to kill her, and that makes him not do it. He doesn't want to kill her until she doesn't want to die.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. We've done it.
Incredible.
Which is nuts. That's character writing.
I mean,
I
but
love that.
I think it says a lot about the show that, like, yeah, we can dissect, for example, this relationship, and there's no point to this, right? Like, what does this say about Baccano as a whole,
What
as a
is
show?
there to say about... That's the thing about Baccano as a whole, is that all of the characters are pretty good, but Baccano as a whole is... It's a mobster show.
It's a really interesting collage piece, I think.
It's a mobster show with some supernatural shit going on.
I think the popular opinion has always been that, where it is a show with a lot of characters doing things, and it's very chaotic, and you have this, this non-linear style of storytelling where everything's out of place, and it really relies on the characters. But I do think there is something going on in Baccano. I just don't think it's very pronounced. I think the themes of Baccano are very muted, and they want to push, these character interactions. They want to push all of this crazy bullshit going on. But at the end of the day, like, the pattern that I noticed is really just about, like, love and life, like, especially with, like Miria, with many stories, yeah. But that's really what they're trying to push with, like, like being alive for fucking hundreds of years, and trying to find those people that you love, that you connect to, and stuff like that. Like, that's really all it is.
Are you saying you think the message of the show is that living for a long time doesn't matter unless you have people you love?
I think the general conceit of the show is life doesn't matter if you don't have people that you love.
Right.
Regardless of how long it is.
Yeah, regardless of how long it is. It is about life and love in general.
I think, like, okay, Claire seems to me like a really thematically load-bearing character. He's like
again?
Rail
Vino.
Tracer.
Rail Tracer.
Vino the assassin.
Yeah.
Rail Tracer.
Awesome guy. Love that guy.
I fucking love that bitch. Oh my gosh. Like, so I remember distinctly being in middle school watching this for the first time, getting attached to Claire immediately, then going, oh no, he's dead for multiple episodes until I see him again, and I'm like, wait, he's been committing murders when I wasn't looking? It was insane. It was an insane experience. And now that I knew, I was, like, looking for it.
The whole idea behind Vino having that secret identity, like, it's so, like, well played in the opening, because he's not prominent, but he does kind of get his little own not name card. Like, he gets a flash in the opening, but he doesn't get a name card. So it instinctively, to me at least, it's signifying to you, like, this guy is important. He is important, but there is a reason why we're not giving you his name.
Pay attention to this character design. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
What's the secret identity again? Like, they brought it up once, and I forgot, frankly.
His secret
So
identity
he
is,
is-
like, the fact that he's the fourth secret brother of the Gondors or whatever.
But he's not their
He was, like,
biological brother,
adopted.
right?
Yeah,
No, he was like an
adopted
orphan.
into the family, and then, like, a little later, like, sometime when he was, like, maybe 13, he joined the circus, presumably because he was like, I want to forge my own identity outside of my adoptive family. And his family was like, okay, we love ya. thanks guys, and then he left to join the circus. He was an acrobat for a while, and that's how he can do all the bullshit that he does on the train.
Yeah.
Incredible.
And he just also happens to be the best assassin in the country.
He's just kind of a psychopath. And I love that for him.
Yeah, we can all aspire to that level of ambition.
And then he's like, I'm gonna marry this girl.
Yeah, he is the best assassin and acrobat and Gandor in the country because he is the only assassin and acrobat and Gandor in the country or the world. And he will marry this woman because this woman is him, and he loves himself.
Wait, what? How is
He's a
what's her
solipsist.
name?
Remember?
Yeah, he's like,
oh wait, you
nothing
mean
exists
she's
outside of
him in
me.
that sense? Because everything is a creation of his
Yes.
own mind. Yeah.
And it's just like, ooh, it's like, oh, I love Claire's character. Like, he's fascinated me for years.
No, I like the phrase thematically load-bearing. Because when you get into the idea that Baccano is all about life eternal and the relationship with love and all. Hello, darling wife. Nice to see you.
Wife appearance.
When you get into the idea that Baccano is all about life eternal and the relationship of a person with the idea of love, the idea that somebody is the only person that there is, like, I love that relationship. Because you have to get into the idea of whether a life can ever be fulfilling if it's lived alone. And Claire Stanfield can only live alone.
And yet he still finds a very fulfilling life.
And a marriage.
For himself, at least.
And a marriage.
We love that
Yeah.
for him.
Oh yeah, did you guys watch the specials?
No, I didn't.
I didn't end up watching the specials, well, this time around, but I remember watching them in middle school. The thing that I remember most acutely was Shazlaw running away screaming when he sees Vino again. I think.
Yeah.
Was it
that
Vino
happened.
specifically? Yeah. That's the thing that I remember distinctly. It was like, oh my god, Shazlaw, fucking Shazlaw, I'm gonna kill something!
Yeah, I did not watch the specials, but I would also like to ask: is this the first time that we've seen Baccano?
No.
Yeah, this is the
Okay.
first time I've seen Baccano.
Oh!
Okay. Yeah, I had seen Baccano. I did not finish Baccano, before, and because I was always like, yeah, Baccano is like good, like but I never got to the parts where I'm like, oh yeah, no, it actually is good. Because I feel like Baccano spends a lot of its time, like a good middle chunk of the show, I'm just wondering, like, what the fuck is the point? Like, what is this all leading up to? Like, where are we going? And then by the time we get there, I'm like, okay, yeah, no, this show is pretty good. But
So
there
sorry,
is
can you say
something
again? Have you seen the show before?
I just didn't finish it.
Oh.
And it was
Interesting.
for that reason. Where I was like, what the fuck? Like, where, what are we doing? Where are we going right now?
Order of events. You started watching it a while ago, but then you didn't finish it. And then it became the Anime Club anime, and you were like, I'll watch it all the way through.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I had to. This is now the reason why I'm like, okay, now I have to finish I actually have to finish the show.
And by a while ago, I'm gonna assume that was like 10 years ago.
Dude, yeah, I mean, this probably like 2013 or 14, somewhere around there. Yeah.
Old head.
I mean, the show came out.
Eventually,
the show
we
is
all
almost
get
20 years
old.
old.
Yeah, that's probably when I watched it too. It was back when I was still getting my bachelor's, so would have been around 13, 14.
Yeah.
Wowzers.
So I don't remember pretty much anything about it.
Yeah, I did. I barely remembered anything.
It's
even
crazy how much I
like
thought
a
I
few years
remembered and then
later.
didn't.
Yeah. Anyway, I guess like while we're talking about how old this show is, Tom, can you maybe tell me like more about like the reception back then? Because I wasn't around at that time to know how people were praising it. To me, it was pretty much just people glazing the show, but in a very general, like, oh, this is one of the best anime of all time. You got to watch this. Way.
So the reception differs from the original reception to like the 2010s view of the show, I think. Because I mean, this show came out in, the late 2000s, like 2007, 2008, right? I think the 2008 was the
2007,
specials.
yes.
Yeah. And so I think people did not. I think people were very taken in by the violence, which I didn't even remember how violent the show was, and it's pretty sick. They were taken in by the violence and the nonlinear storytelling, right? Because that was kind of new. Like you didn't really have any shows that were portrayed like that. Like you had Boogie Pop, I think is the only show that I can think of off the top of my head that like does stuff like that.
Yeah.
But saying that,
Steins Gate wouldn't even come out for another 4 years.
Yeah, exactly. And Steins Gate, even saying that, like Steins Gate is way more linear.
It's
Yeah.
true.
You are following the like not basic plot beats, but you are following like the arc of Okabe, right?
Yeah.
You are going
But
through and just
that's
saying,
what I'm saying,
this
that
is it.
even something like Steins Gate wouldn't even come out
Yeah.
for 4 years.
Yeah, exactly. So like people were, I think, very taken in by those aspects of the show. And then as you got more shows, you got your Steins Gates, right? And the anime sphere kind of like expanded. Baccano kind of became this like, it became like one of those like second tier of shows where it's like, oh, you had your like Full Metal Alchemist and your Cowboy Bebops and your, I mean, you had your basic stuff like Naruto and Dragon Ball, whatever, of like, this is how you get into anime. But then you had those like top tier shows where it's like, this is it. Baccano kind of became one of those for a brief period of time, because people really were into it.
And this is
As
in
opposed
the
to now.
2010s, right?
Yeah, this is the 2010s. Like Baccano was held in such high regard, because then you also had, because in 2013 or 14, Durarara came out, and that was made by the same guy. And Durarara is like way more vast. It's a much higher scale of things going on. It's also a lot longer, so I think people looked at Durarara and they went, oh my god, this show is so good. And then when they realize that Baccano is by the same guy, they look at Baccano like a prototype version of it. And Baccano's perception almost started to fall off because of that, because Durarara was so well liked.
Yeah, but Durarara
and now
doesn't get anywhere near the same reception these days. People still talk about it because they like it, but Baccano is still the one that everybody goes back to.
See,
I think it's a little bit. Oh,
I think that is true. In the only in the sense that Baccano is shorter and it is more easily understood, and that's why people are more willing to talk about it nowadays, because it came first and because it is shorter.
It's shorter and therefore more accessible to like a new viewer, as opposed to like Durarara, which has like 3 seasons and like it keeps adding more characters. Like Baccano has a closed cast after a certain point. Like you know everyone in the show by like the 2nd or 3rd episode, maybe. You've at least seen their face and you know they're going to be important later if you've seen them more than once. And so it's like with Baccano, it becomes a little bit like one of those. It becomes a little bit like a mystery plot, like a self-contained Agatha Christie novel, where like you, the audience, are like looking at it and figuring out, okay, how do the events click together? Whereas Durarara is not out of sequence, like it's chronological as characters get added to this chaotic mess of nonsense. In Ikebukuro, wait. That was
it.
It
was Ikebukuro.
Yeah, Ikebukuro. And it's like, oh my gosh, I can't be talking about Durarara, but I do love it still. Anyway, as I feel like, oh right, so I like just like 10 minutes before this call started was like, maybe I should track down the light novel because I have like this weird inkling that the show has done something like I was wrong thinking that the show was like presenting the events in the same way that the book had done, because in my mind, if a book is non-chronological, that like is easier to access, not access necessarily, but easier to make cohesive than a show that is non-chronological and jumps around
Why?
between genres. You know? Because like
But
if
why?
it's a book, what?
But why? I'm just asking for an explanation.
Yeah, right. Okay, so it's like the reason that a book is a lot easier to like cohere together in a non-chronological or like very like varied kind of tones sort of way is like I'm thinking about Dracula for some reason because like Dracula is an epistolary novel where like you just learn information from diary entries and letters and all of this stuff. And the missing information is part of the point of an epistolary novel. And in that same way, having things be non-chronological in like a light novel format means that you are missing information, but you know it's there and you can get to it somehow if you keep going and you keep making connections, right? So like the light novel's prologue begins with the hat store anecdote, so to speak. Like, you know, the thing where like
Yeah.
first Maiza and Fierro go to the hat store. Then Isaac and Miria get to the hat store after them, and then Isaac and Miria get hit by a car. And while that is happening, the Gandors are just kind of like chilling, but they're like tapped into things. So the prologue of the entire story is just like the lead up to there's something that's going to happen at the hat store, but we, the audience, don't know what the fuck happens at the hat store. It's like, you're gonna go to the hat store with Maiza. Hey, Isaac, we should go. It's like, Miria, the first place we will go is the hat store. Excellent. I'd heard something that happened recently at the hat store. It's like, and like, what is going on at that hat store? Like, that's all that you know. It's that like, and the hat store incident seems to be like the point in time that like all of the prologue like titles are like centered around. And in that same way, the anime does that with the flying pussyfoot. Like the flying pussyfoot is the anchoring event, as opposed to like in the prologue introducing you to everything. The anchoring event is the hat store incident. And also there is a different character that apparently, like the first chapter centers around a character from 2001-ish, who's just a guy from Japan who goes to New York. and this is like his gateway into learning about the nonsense in Baccano, I think.
Oh.
Which is crazy. Like he's a character in universe and that's crazy. I don't know why that's so crazy. Anyway,
I mean, like the
like,
similar role in the show is just fulfilled by the detective guy and his assistant, right?
yes, exactly. So the detective guy and his assistant, they made me think that the show was essentially reflecting the manga more exactly than it was. Like, not necessarily, like, I'm sure that it's not like an unfaithful adaptation, but like reflecting it more with less liberties, because those two having a conversation about like who is a main character and like almost like pressing on the fourth wall just a little bit, especially with the episode titles, where like the episode title goes, this guy does not comment on the idea of him and his assistant being the main characters, like that, and then they never appear again, which is crazy.
Yeah, they appear at the end of the specials.
Right.
Like, basically at the very end of the last episode.
I think it is basically they're just a device to say, this is what we're setting up, please pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, exactly. And that's interesting to me because them saying stuff like that directly would probably go over like more with more tension and stuff in like a book, because if we were just thrown into, there's a girl, she's going through a bunch of documents, and then her mentor is like, as you know, there were a lot of events that happened around 1930 whenever. And I'm like, so And then
Yeah.
they just list off a bunch of characters, and it's like that's a thing that could probably go over pretty well in a book, and it feels a little bit fourth wall breaky in a book. Like it feels like almost like the guy is aware that there is an audience reading this, which makes a lot of sense because he is a journalist, and so he
Yeah.
constantly like frames his statements around like how is this framed to the audience and what conclusion could they draw about what is and is not important based on who the main character is and what events we choose to highlight. And by starting a book like that, it kind of feels like the characters just sort of like turning vaguely towards you with this knowledge of like, I know I'm being observed, but you can't do anything. So, which is like so fascinating to me.
But you also
But
say
in a
that the book
show,
doesn't start like that, right?
the book doesn't start like that,
Okay.
which like it doesn't, and I think that is the choice in that change is really interesting to me, but I can't articulate why. I can't articulate why it is so interesting.
Well, I think it probably goes back to
and
what Tom was saying about how this was a relatively new kind of story structure for popular anime. So the studio's logic was you introduce it with the characters saying, "Hey everyone, this is what we're doing," explicitly. So make sure you're ready for this kind of story that you maybe haven't experienced in this medium before.
Yeah, so see, it to my knowledge, and I've never read the light novels. I really don't know anything about them besides hearsay. But from what I remember, the light novels were way more of just like you wanted to throw out they wanted to throw out all these characters and just do a bunch of shit with them. Like it didn't take the time to really craft its narrative. More so it really just wanted to throw a lot of things at you and be really cool and have all these like vibrant personalities bouncing off of each other, right? As opposed to the anime, which takes very considerable care with the level of information it gives you at what time and what it wants you to know about the characters at what time. You know, it sets up and says like, hey, these are this is what essentially what happens at the end of the train, the flying pussyfoot. This is, you know, a lad is on the ground, he has no arm, he's covered in blood. You see, you know, but you see a couple of these other guys like getting off the train and they're having a good time, and you're like, well, what the fuck could have possibly happened, right? And delving into all of that information is what the anime is crafting around, right?
Yeah, it's starting
as opposed to the light
even
novel.
in
Yeah.
medias res.
Yeah,
in terminus
exactly.
res. That's what it's called.
in terminus res.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good. I like a story that starts in terminus res, but I think something that grabbed that like sort of caught me in a way that like caught isn't the right word, but like snagged me was that so there were some things that made me go, oh, this kind of destroys a certain amount of tension. Because if we know from the first like 5 to 10 minutes of the show that Isaac and Miria are immortal, we fundamentally look at them like and their escapades very differently. Like we don't know when they become immortal, but because we know they eventually become immortal, they cannot die before they become immortal. So they're functionally immortal for the entirety of the story, which is
also
fine for their narrative specifically, but it like it's sort of like when other characters worry about them, we the audience go, I guess I understand, but also they're fine. Don't worry about it. And like they become very emotionally significant when they're like when they're just being their goofy goober selves and making everyone around them feel better about stuff all of the time. But I think like the most pathosful has been in my brain for too long, but like the most pathosful scene with them to me is the scene where they are holding on to Cheslaw, who expects them to kill him, and he thinks, I should probably kill them. He just keeps thinking this in the back of his brain. But they are so overjoyed that he is alive and well that, like, he can't, like, his brain kind of shuts down and he doesn't know what to do with himself anymore. And, like, it's like that scene where, like, their force of nothing bad can ever happen that they bring to every scene that they are in crashes against Cheslaw's story in this way that creates something very beautiful. And I think that's like the primary appeal of the show is the characters crashing into each other and enforcing, trying to figure out whose genre is going to win in this interaction.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. I think because you bring up the the train scene with Cheslaw and Isaac and Miria, and that's like might be my favorite scene in the show. Like that scene, honest to God, like almost made me tear up. Like I was genuinely very impacted by what was going on because it comes back to their whole conversation of like, if you are a good person, or rather you are a good person if people think you are a good person, and their perception of you is what's important, right? And them just seeing Cheslaw as this kid who just needed to be saved, who just needed people in his life, that is what was the most important thing, because that's what, from our our understanding of his backstory, that's what he needed. And yeah, it's just really, it's something beautiful, like you kind of sit around and you're like, all right, well, Miria and Isaac are really fun characters, but like why are they here? That's kind of my biggest question of like, why the fuck are they here? It's for that scene at the end, and it's so cathartic that you're like, okay, everything makes sense.
I have always been a fan of characters who are too stupid to be mean.
Yeah.
There's just something so like charming and hopeful about it, that it's like it says that at the core, people, before they have all of these pretenses about what other people are like or what society expects them to be, like they're always going to be Isaac and Mirius.
Yeah.
Like,
they're two very stupid dogs. They're stupid
they're
dogs who want to love you.
Mm-hmm. And also take your money for their own gain. But only if you're bad. Preferably
but only
if you're bad. Preferably if you're bad.
Steal from the mafia.
So, back to the opening vignette with the journalists. I don't understand why those two characters had to be separate from the story. For instance, I don't get why Eve Genoard couldn't have been one of them.
Yeah. So
like
I think
like uncovering this as he's just trying to figure out what's going on with
right? She can even be talking with a journalist, just like trying to uncover exactly the truth of what happened in this weird incident where her brother went missing this one time and her dad and her other brother got killed. Like, even if you're part of a mafia family, you might want to know what happens when you learn that some people are immortal and your brother was going to be drowning at the bottom of the Hudson for all eternity.
Yeah. I think
not for all eternity. He was going to eventually get old and die.
Sure.
Yeah, and he does actually free himself. This is special information. You wouldn't know this from the show.
I think with the case of Eve, like, you would not have her as that character, like, delving into all the information, because she has nothing to do with what happens on the train. Right. I mean, literally zero.
But neither do the journalists.
That's where... No, but they have nothing to do with anything, and that's why them saying our outside perspective, we are just pontificating on what happened here, what all these characters were doing, what the story was being told, who is the main character, is there a main character, we don't really know, right? It is just introducing you to these ideas and concepts that the shows wants you to play with.
I agree, but
I mean, could basically be written out of the story.
One of them could have been a journalist. But the other should have been involved with the story somehow.
Sure.
Like, maybe that would defeat the purpose of what they were trying to do when it comes to this multi-perspective story. But I did just have the thought of, like, I bet all of you are wondering why I've gathered you here today. That kind of situation.
I think the biggest connection being that they're from the Daily Dally, or whatever the fuck the newspaper is called?
Sure.
The Daily Days.
The Daily Days. That's the connection. If the vice president was really just the director, I think that would have made a bigger connection, to your point. But it really is just like, hey, these guys are from the same journal company that we follow throughout the story. That's
Them information brokers.
Yeah, we just have the two people at the beginning be the director of Baccano and the viewer. We animate the viewer in there, and we have the director of Baccano sit down and say, okay, I bet you're wondering why I've called you here today.
We're just getting as meta as possible.
We do it in that End of Evangelion style where they just draw sketches on white paper. Some
In
of
the
it's
end of
words.
Evo, where they just
like
have
film.
like the entire audience watching the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. The structure of Baccano is pretty dang good. But yeah, I really think the characters are where it shines, and even then, I kind of don't give a shit about half of them.
That is true.
I have a lot of caring in my heart, so like I can't think off the top of my head of like many characters that I thought I don't care about you. Aside from Miza's dead brother's girlfriend who was on the boat. I saw their interaction. I was
What a
immediately
pull!
like,
Sylvie?
Liza again.
Miza is the glasses guy who was the first immortal that like summoned the demon.
he was the
Miza's
was the guy that
brother's
was dead with the
girlfriend.
Okay, we have a popularity poll here from our Baccano. At the very top of that poll is Elmer Albatross.
Who the
Come
fuck is that?
on, man. Come on.
Maybe it's different in the light novel.
Elmer was the guy who was like, I'm gonna change Salard's mind by doing handstands on the side of the boat. Like, that was that guy.
Right.
Yeah.
He is the most popular character on our Baccano. Followed by
Can you
Huey.
link that, please?
What?
Huey
Can
LaForêt.
you link that?
This?
Huey
I'll send it to the
LaForêt.
chat. Then Firo, then Vino, then Miza. Let's see how long it takes to get to a character I care about. Oh, Isaac and Miria are one character, and they are character number 6.
I love that for them.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, for Firo especially, like, what the fuck is his deal? He barely does anything throughout.
He's hot
I mean,
and
not
charming.
even the show as a whole. It's like just
He is very hot and
He's hot and
charming. As a boy liker, I can confirm he is very hot and very charming.
I'm not even a boy liker, and I see it.
But that's all there is to him.
Yeah, he's hot and charming.
Yeah.
Just like
Very
Huey
main
LaForêt,
character.
he's hot and charming, but in a different way.
Many of these characters are like, you say they are hot, and what is their other adjective? That's most of them. Like,
Yeah, Elmer, he's hot and drowned.
yeah, he's hot and silly. There you go.
Vino, he's hot and
Like-
alone.
True. Like,
Yeah, Luck
Hot
Gandor
and cool,
is
hot
hot
and
and cold,
psychopaths.
but cold in a different way.
like most of the characters, I think, like Luck. Luck is the only character from the Gondors that I give a fuck about. I mean, besides Vino, he doesn't really count. Like, but that's just because he gets the most screen time, and he's the one like that's in charge and is clearly like has everything like going on. Like his other two brothers, Keith, and I don't even remember the other ones, are just fucking there. I don't think Keith has a single speaking line in the whole show.
That's quite
Like,
possible.
That is how unimportant that those characters are. But they still have fucking title cards in the opening, and you're like, why? What the fuck
kind
cares?
of-
Who are these guys?
Hold on. What kind of name is Chane? Was she adopted or
I
something?
don't know.
Chane,
No,
Chane,
she's
I
his
mean,
literal
she's
daughter.
the French one.
But Chane is
Chane.
not a French name.
But LaForêt, I mean,
Exactly.
come on, they talk with the French accent. I'm pretty sure they're French, right? That's the idea.
Oh,
I believe
did you guys
that.
watch the dub?
Yes. But
I
like,
watched
is
the
this
dub.
my ignorance, or... Let's see here. Translate from French to English. CHAN Alt 0233.
Uh,
Chane is not a word.
What the fuck? Why is Nisei so low? She's the third lowest character in the popularity poll.
Because she's hot, and that's it. She's hot and
She's
explosive.
hot and
That's
only
it.
hot. Okay.
That is why they have to have 2 adjectives. Tenic.
But look,
She only
No.
has
I mean-
1.
She's hot
but
and
she likes
banging.
explosives. Like that's.
That's 2 words. You can't have 2 words.
Oh, this is so
Who are
dumb.
some of these people? Are these light novel only characters?
yeah, that's because
Okay.
you went to r/Baccano, so I have to assume that it's mostly people who've read all of the light novels.
Sure.
Especially since these illustrations are definitely from the light novels and not the anime.
Some of them are from the anime.
If
I
they're
don't
from
think
the
so.
if they're characters in the anime, they're probably using their anime
No,
profile.
Chesla has
like-
light novel illustration energy.
Oh, well, never mind. Fuck me.
Yeah, all of these are definitely light novels.
I'm not looking at it, so I don't know.
Brian, I suggest you flash you Discord screen share that image, even if only for a moment, because I think in the future people are not gonna know what we were looking at.
Reasonable.
I mean, we've done it before.
Yeah, I think in the terms of favorite characters, yeah, Vino was up there. I mean, even though Firo doesn't do that much, he is just really charming. You're just yeah, I like this guy.
I didn't.
Ennis is my wife because she's super hot. I mean, holy fuck.
And
What?
That's 2 words.
That's yeah. She's 19th on this
she's
fucking
hot.
thing. What are we doing?
Listen, this is mostly people who've read the light novels. You can tell because the characters who got I don't know, at most 10 minutes of episode time in total are very high because they probably have a lot of stuff to dig into when reading. Also,
I
that's
don't know.
another
I
thing is
could
that
see Elmer being number 1 just because of memes.
also
True.
that's a good point. But we don't
Also,
know
it's a
what his
Reddit
wish
board,
was,
so
I
come
think.
on.
Remember he made a wish. The devil gave him a wish, and then we, the audience, don't know what it is
Was that
in Baccano
Elmer?
the show.
I thought that was
I
Misa.
do
No,
remember that.
Misa was
this
the
is
one
after
where.
that.
Yeah. So Misa summons the devil, sort of. The devil says,
Mhm.
"I've always been here, bitch. I don't know why you're like that, but."
Talked to the devil, and the devil said, "I've always been here, bitch."
So he talks to the devil. The devil tells him the secret to immortality and shit. And then Slizzard starts murdering people, and
Slizzard.
and
Slizzard.
Elmer is the one. And Elmer goes, haha, I am going to distract you so that somebody else can take care of you. And then he falls into the water, and he thinks that he's not going to come out of the water, maybe. I don't know. But then, the devil's like, you got balls, kid. Okay, I've given you 1 wish. And he's like, oh, wish. Okay, sure. And then it cuts to, he's on the boat again, and he's been, revived by everyone else. It's like, are you okay, dude? And he's like, I'm fine. I'm good. And we never learn what his wish was.
Mm-hmm.
We do in the specials.
Tenet.
Can I stop doing this?
Tenet, you can't make fun of Slizzard. Because if I were to go up to someone who had never seen Baccano, and I said, which of these names is real and which is a joke, and the names were Elmo, Slizzard, Coleslaw, and Jacuzzi, they would not get it right. They would get it wrong, Tenet.
But it's still Sillard? I don't know how to pronounce that.
Slizzard?
They say Zillard. I think it's Shylard.
I don't know what language it's based in, so I have no fucking clue.
Aren't they
It's
all
Hungarian,
Italian?
apparently. And it's
No, they're not
Sealard.
all Italian. They're from different places.
They're Hungarian.
Well, this name is Hungarian.
Oh.
And
Well,
it's
aren't they
pronounced-
coming all from the same place?
Sealard, according
No.
to Wiktionary.
Sealard.
Sealard.
Etymology of Baccano
Sealard,
names.
yeah.
it's like, okay, because like there were definitely people of like a bunch of different nationalities on that immortality boat.
There were at least
We
French
know
people.
there were
Yeah.
French people, which
Quote
is
unquote.
Cheslaw's name is not French. Cheslaw is not a French name.
It's vaguely Eastern
Um,
European, Polish.
Yeah. And then, like, you know, we got Mai Zavara, which is a very Italian name. At least it seems like that to me.
Cheslaw is
Also-
Polish.
When they were
Cheslaw name.
yeah, because it's the CZ that's
Yeah,
Polish.
that's pretty distinctively Polish. I hope the
My-
people
my
in
mom's
chat are having a
maiden
great
name
time
used
with
to
this
have-
anime club.
My mom's maiden name used to
I
have
love
the
etymology.
CZ, so that's why.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I know. But
Nice
the,
Hollystone, man.
My name is Alex.
very good.
It's Nisei. Excuse
It
you
is
very
Nisei.
much.
In
Sorry,
the anime,
let's
it is
throw
Nisei.
Nice Hollystone onto the list of names they can choose from.
I do love Nice Hollystone as a name. Like, I feel like that's a very American name to me. I'm gonna be real.
No,
like,
it's an
that's-
American name from that baseball game with Bergs and Dugnut.
Did anyone else get the like weird feeling? Because like why weird feeling? I was just like when we were on the ship, and
Yeah, when we were on the
you know,
ship
you
together, right? I remember.
yeah, of course. You know what I'm talking about. When we were all there, we were all in 1711 on the ship with the full of alchemists.
Yes, I remember. Go on.
And there were the black people there, and I was
What?
like, are these guys servants? What are they doing here? And they were just also alchemists, I guess. I didn't understand what was going on. They would definitely be slaves.
Well,
well,
they're all
okay,
equal
if
in the eyes of science and the devil.
I don't know.
Wait.
That's how they saw it back
devil is
then.
very funny.
Look, mainstream society says that some people are less equal than others, but we're talking about satanic alchemists here. And maybe pirates.
And maybe pirates. They were also kind of pirates.
Well, maybe they just didn't show the slaves on
They're-
screen.
Well, they showed
Doesn't mean
black
they
people
didn't
on
have
screen.
They did show the slaves on screen, Tenek. That's what I'm trying to say. They were just
Oh.
also alchemists. Like, I didn't
They
understand
just didn't-
why.
Yeah. Sometimes they had skills like that. My name is Slave Medical, and I bootleg wine.
Anyway, my darling wife is no longer here, but bye, darling wife. I'll miss you. Have fun at work.
Oh no. Work sounds like a nightmare.
Her work is fine.
I imagine having to work.
Uh,
Couldn't be me.
What do you do? Sorry, that's unrelated. Anyway,
Wait, that was an
I
actual
run a
question to
YouTube
me?
channel, actually.
Anyway, Baccano.
I didn't realize you were joking for a hot second because I am not very smart.
I'm not joking. I run a YouTube channel.
Wait, really? Can I
Yeah.
subscribe to the Patreon?
Believe it or
by
not,
any
I'm kind
chance?
of a little bit popular. Anyway.
Baccano.
Yeah, anyway.
Baccano.
Right.
Can I? If we're just gonna talk about random things, I'm gonna bring it up now. The dub, it's really good. I think
It
I've
is
heard
so
people say before that like the English dub for Baccano is great, and yeah, I can believe that. Like I cannot. This is definitely like one of the anime where I would very strongly suggest people watch the dub over the sub.
The good parts of the dub are good.
What are the bad parts?
The less important
The
characters.
bad parts.
Yeah, the bad parts.
The bad
Didn't
parts.
you get the
The
list?
bad parts, the bad parts, the good parts, the good parts.
No, like all of the
That's
main
how that works.
characters do a great job, but I would say that most of the people who don't get many lines, I don't know the word for it, but you know how when somebody's in the voice booth and they say a line, but they aren't given the context and their delivery doesn't really make sense given what was
Oh,
just
yeah,
said by
yeah,
the character before them?
I
Like,
think
I
that's
understand what
voice
you're talking about.
direction.
I wouldn't
And then they
say
didn't
I
really
felt
get
that way
proper
at
to
any
the
part
edit.
of
It's
the
like,
show.
I noticed that
It's
like
like-
3 or 4 times.
yeah, it's like I kind of had like a sense in the back of my brain of it, and I was like, yeah, this was from like 2000 and whenever, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It was done by Funimation though, so it's not like it's It's not like it was done by a bunch of fucking nobodies.
Sure. No, they had big names.
Yeah.
And they did great.
That being said, I have only ever seen clips of the dub, and the clips that people say are like, these are the good parts, you know. I still think it sounds like an anime dub, and I'm like, okay,
Wait, so did you
You
watch
know-
it subbed?
yeah, I watched it subbed.
Damn.
There's this one episode that was like weird, like because I noticed how good the animation was in the episode where specifically the line was like, "Maria, we've forgotten something, Ennis." I forget Ennis. Like that specific episode consistently had like really nice animation, and I want to figure out why at some point, but I don't know.
Yeah, whenever somebody says that an anime has a good dub, like, the first thing I think of always is that line in the Chainsaw Man dub during the fight against Katana Man on the train, when Chainsaw Man's like, "You went for my head like a dipshit!"
Oh.
I'm like, how can you beat that? How can you compare anything to that?
Well, see, it always, everybody, when we're talking about anime dubs, everybody always brings up the Breaking Bad meme edit of like, this is what Breaking Bad would sound like if it was an anime, and it's Jesse Pinkman doing the like, ugh, I'm selling drugs and you assholes are gonna be my drug guys now, like, and you're like, yeah, that's what it sounds like. But it's a meme, like, obviously they're being hyperbolic. That being said, that is most of what dubs sound like to me.
No, I get that impression,
unironically.
but that's like, that's a problem with translating specifically from Japanese to English when you have to take into account lip flaps. Because Japanese,
also like a little bit-
Japanese is what's called a low information density language compared to English.
Yeah.
They have a whole lot of sounds to say a whole little amount of thing compared to what we have in English. So we have to like laboriously translate these sentences to have a whole lot more syllables than what would be natural for a native English speaker, which is why we get unnecessary bloviation like that.
Yeah, but
So
that
it's
being
less a
said,
problem of delivery.
Japanese
It's just
also has like just sounds that mean a whole lot more, like just tiny little sounds that mean a whole lot more that you would have to communicate in broad sentences in English, as opposed to them just being like, in a specific context, and you're like, that means so much for this character. Yeah, like, you know. And like we could talk about translation all day, but when it comes down to like Baccano, I remember specifically they wanted to, like, they pulled a lot from different like accents from like mobster movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like they really did their research on like how these characters should sound, you know, when, because I'm pretty sure there's like at least forgive me if I'm wrong, right? There's an accent change, like I think it's like one of the guys on the boat, I think it might be Maizawa.
Maiza's accent changes, like from when he was on the boat to like when he's like fitting in with modern society.
Yeah. And it's, you know, that's like a cool detail thing that you don't get in the sub. That being said, there is no performance in the dub, at least that from the clips that I've seen. Again, I have not watched it. There is no performance in the dub that at best is beating out the most like middling performance of the sub, if that makes sense. Like,
I'm pretty fond of Tesla's performance. Like, you really get the sense from like the changes in tone and like it fits very smoothly with the character to the point where I stop thinking about it as a performance, which is not the thing that I do for a lot of the characters in Baccano. But like with Chesla specifically, there's something about like the change between like, I'm Chesla or whatever, and like a little later, I can use these guys. Like there's something about that that's just like, it's very good. It's good acting.
I mean, you still get that type of inflection in the sub.
That's true. I just like
my more point was more of like, like Lad. Lad has a very like because what was the guy's name who played him in the sub? I can't remember, but he's done a bunch of cool like I think he was like Leorio.
Lad isn't on this list.
Maybe because people don't like him. I don't know.
Why would people not like him?
He's less complex.
Look, he's a man who knows what he wants.
He is a man who knows what he wants. That
about
is
your
true.
hobbies. And your girlfriend slash lover slash fiance.
Your
Slash
passion
hostage.
is maybe a little misplaced when you're indiscriminately murdering people.
No, it's
No,
very
he is
discriminating.
discriminating.
It's very discriminating.
He discriminates.
He does discriminate sometimes. A lot of the time he's not.
He
Let's be
prefers
fair.
to discriminate.
He prefers, sure.
Let's not yuck his yum. He's
got
just a
murder
he's a discriminatory kind of guy.
But with Lad's performance in the English, from what the clips that I've seen, he sounds good. It still sounds like he is trying to be an anime character.
Mm-hmm. You know what
And
I can't get out of my head
that is the biggest problem in dubs.
about Lad Russo, and this has nothing to do with the dub performance. Adam Pascal.
Who?
That's a name.
Yeah, Jams, surely you know Adam Pascal. Famous
Oh, yes,
Broadway
Adam
performer
Pascal.
Adam Pascal.
Oh.
We're going to get into my
not,
favorite musical, Baccano.
Dude, a Baccano musical would actually go crazy.
You heard about
would
the
be
Death Note musical, right? How there's
yes,
an
yes.
English language
yes.
concept album.
Yes.
Time period
yeah,
would have
yeah.
a different
English?
musical.
I thought there was only a Japanese
note
one.
the audience when we are. Ooh, that's good.
No,
How is Adam
there's an
Pascal
English one.
not
It's like
blonde? I've thought
it's
he was
like a
blonde my
fan-made
whole
one.
life. Anyway, here's Adam with Idina Menzel
Wowzers.
in chess.
In chess.
It's just in chess he has that really confident guy energy. He wears a white suit, and I thought he was blonde. So I just couldn't get over imagining Lad Russo as Adam Pascal singing about one night in Bangkok, you know?
Oh, yeah. Good.
Yeah, but that's I don't know.
Sorry to
I
derail
think-
this train, pun intended.
Yeah. No, you're good. You can derail it all you want. I don't fucking. Hey man, we're here for you.
You're the conductor.
Hey, you want to drive this train into a ditch? That's your right, man.
I just think when we're talking about dubs, we are never going to. It's hard for me to imagine, especially now where we are in anime dubbing, how far we've come, as a community thinking about it, and how far the industry has changed.
Mm-hmm.
We're never going to get regular inflection anymore. We are always going to be trying to sound like something.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's because if at this point anime dubbing has become a style of performance that
Yes.
you now have to be familiar with this performance style to get the things out of it that you would get out of a performance style that is more familiar. It kind of is the same for in children's shows, you have to speak more slowly and with emphasis on different things because children are in a stage where they need to know which parts of the sentence are important at all times. So
Absolutely.
it's like that. But the problem that they're solving is translation based and also it's translation and localization based and also the constraints of the lip flaps in animation. So because they've developed the strategies that they've developed over time and the strategies have not necessarily changed too drastically, it has become a performance style of its own. And Baccano, I think in a way was the best form of it at the time, and it kind of codified a lot of stuff into into like common practice because it was so well received that way. And I think that's
That
interesting.
is a. I can't speak to that directly, but I would not be surprised if Baccano had some influence on dubs that came after.
Well, like,
I would not be surprised.
when it comes to trying to figure out something like that, we look at the company that dubbed Baccano, Funimation.
Yep.
Yep. And we figure that what's going on with Baccano is company practice at the time. It either is what they're always doing, or it's them stepping out of their comfort zone. So is there anything...
I think that was them stepping out.
...like Baccano by Funimation from around the same time? And yes, there is. It's Funimation.
Yeah, there definitely is. I just don't know it off the top of my head because I'm not familiar with dubs.
Funimation from the dubbing wiki, of course.
Oh, people will categorize anything.
Just real quick to your point, Jams, about it being a different style of performance now. I would just say I think that is bad, and I don't like it.
Oh no! I think it's neat.
I think having a different style of performance specifically for anime when you can just talk like normal people, just be you, like there is still a lot of acting involved, right? And we need more unique voices. Like we have this idea, and I think it's a very nice idea, that anyone can be a voice actor if you have a nice voice, because you can train your voice, right? Saying that, though, I don't think anyone should be a voice actor. I think we should have more people with unique voices that are in these spaces. Like you look at like a show like Smiling Friends, and what is the guy's name? Zach Hadel, the creator of the show who plays Charlie.
Oh, I heard that name.
Okay. He has this really like nasally, like it sounds like he always has a stuffy nose. He just sounds like that. Like that's just his voice, right? And back in the day, there were a lot of voice actors in anime who just sounded weird, who just sounded like they had, you know, they had different voices. I think a big one is like who's still in the industry today, Christopher Sabat. He has this very big, loud, booming voice, right? And obviously he is acting and he's putting on a performance, but his voice is just unique. You had like Justin Cook, who had a very unique voice. You had Kyle Herbert, who had a very unique voice. You know, I think we just need those like we need more unique voices in the space again. I think that's really all it is. I see clips all the time from dubs where people are, and that's fine because this is, you know, English is everybody's native language in America. Well, I'm not going to say that. That's
I was like, you said everybody's, and I was immediately like, very
terribly
interesting.
Incorrect.
Way to structure that sentence.
What I mean to say is, if you are born in America and you're raised in America, more than likely you're going to be speaking English. And you know, for us, the guys who are watching in English for the dub, you want it to be in English because that's the thing that you understand the most, right? This is the argument that I've heard a lot of the times, right? And I see, what was that most recent show? I can't remember. But people were like popping off about how good the localization was. And it's of like these two kids walking into a convenience store, and they're both like being like making fun of each other or something like that, and people are like going on about how like good it sounds and how good it sounds and how well it's like localized. I can't remember the name of it. If somebody showed me the clip, I'd be able to. The girl has like pink hair, I think, and she had like
is it, are you and I are polar opposites?
That might be it. Yeah.
I love that show.
It's when they're like walking into the convenience store, and then they're like making fun of each other, and then their classmate is like the cashier, and he's like, "Please get the fuck out," because he doesn't want to see anybody from school. everybody was like going off about how much they love that scene, and I listened to it, and I'm like, this sounds awful. This sounds like absolute ass.
So when it comes to the specific cultural impact of the Baccano dub, I have two important shows from Funimation that came out at around the same time. We've got, in 2006, The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, and in 2008, Code Geass.
Okay.
Interesting.
We also have a few other smaller things like Lucky Star, Devil May Cry, Welcome to the NHK in 2006.
I think the biggest impact that you're going to get out of a dub is from that bunch is probably Code Geass. Because there were a lot of, I mean, not a lot of different accents, but there were different accents in that show. There were a lot of different inflections in that show. And you had Johnny Young Bosch and Yuri Lowenthal as like the two leads, and that they did a lot of carrying. They did a lot of carrying in that show. Very good dub. See, that's a dub that I do like a lot.
Wait, what show?
Code Geass.
Okay.
But see, I think you absolutely cannot overestimate the impact of Haruhi Suzumiya on anything when it comes to Western animation.
Oh, no.
And like
no.
just looking at the cast, you've got Crispin Freeman, you got Johnny Young Bosch,
Yeah.
Wendy Lee, Michelle Ruff. I don't recognize.
It's really interesting how
Stephanie
much
Sheh.
like the casting decisions tended to carry earlier dubs. Am I crazy?
Well, it's more that dubbing was a much smaller game back in the day.
Yeah. There was a much smaller
Right,
pool of people.
Like you had
Carry
the
was the
Oron
word that I
crew,
was
and one of them was in every show.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. It's
Think
like,
think
oh,
of like
I
how
feel
think
like
of like
I find it, but I
Dragon
can't
Ball
figure it out.
dubs, and think of how many people from Dragon Ball have been in like
Everything.
how many shows? Yeah, like literally everything. It's a lot. It's honestly a lot like Japanese dubs, like dubbing companies, and how like that is way more competitive, but it's a broader pool of people. As opposed to the early 2000s in English, it was not as competitive and a much smaller pool of people, but that's why you hear so much of every single voice,
Well,
like
you also
these different guys.
there's
What's up?
not exactly a flourishing number of dubbing companies back in the day. You had Funimation and
That is
4
also
Kids,
true.
and was Aniplex a separate company?
No, I think
I
most
think
Aniplex
five.
shows did were like with Funimation.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong about that, but from what I remember.
Like, I'm sure there were smaller studios doing dubs, but like as
I think that
someone
was
who
more
was
prevalent
around
in the
2010s,
90s. Yeah. I mean, what are the dubbing companies now besides Funimation?
Uh,
I don't know any.
yeah, something
I think-
Monopoly. Oh dear.
I think in the 90s you had a
apparently
few.
you've got Bang Zoom, Studiopolis, Sentai Filmworks
never-
America.
Okay. I didn't realize that was its own dubbing company. I know
People need
Sentai
to
Filmworks.
dub the Pretty Cures more. That's beside the point. Anyway.
Yeah, I love Baccano Precure. Flying train robbery
The newest
Precure.
Precure season is a detective season with time travel. That's very funny. Anyway.
So this is the problem I
So,
was
like, okay.
worried we were going to get into with Baccano.
Oh, it would stop having
Because it
things
is
to
a
say?
very plot happens kind of show.
It is very
Yeah,
plot
it's like-
happens.
And like, damn, there's a plot.
The plot intersects.
Mm-hmm.
No way, but like, look. There's no way Baccano is gonna beat Pantheon stalking, right?
No.
We can't let
For
that
short
happen.
time.
Yes. If we
No, I
can
believe we
manage to
can
talk
do it.
about Pantheon stalking for 2.5 hours, We can talk about Baccano for 3 hours.
Well,
I
a
believe
lot
that.
of the reason we were able to talk about Panty and Stocking for 2.5 hours is because it was bad.
It was very bad.
And
Baccano was
Baccano's
pretty
not
good.
bad.
Like, that's, yeah. It's interesting. It's like, ooh. I'm thinking about, like, I wonder, Baccano on a rewatch, like, more recently than it's been approximately, I don't know how many years it's been since I was in middle school, but I was a middle schooler when I first watched it. It's like, it's just like, I was a middle schooler when I first watched this, and I've forgotten most of it. Let's watch it again. And then, like, seeing, like, oh, I misremembered that, or I forgot that bit. That's why I remember that character so fondly, even though I remembered nothing about them, you know? It's just like, that's like, I have to wonder what different rewatch experiences are like, because the whole point of Baccano is that there's a lot going on all at once. And it's like, ooh, a lot going on all at once. That's another thing. It's like, I keep trying to articulate this thing that I said at the top, where I was like, I felt like the reason that I felt the way that I felt about the first, like, 2 or 3 episodes was because of, like, them doing something where, like, their translation of the light novel into a animated form did something to it that kind of, like, there was like a heat loss. What's the word I'm looking for? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
No, I think
The
you're kinda lost
conversion,
right now.
the conversion rate was weird. I don't know, like, it's just something very distinct in the back of my brain. I have such a strong sense for this type of thing, where I'm like, I know that would have gone over really well in book form, but I don't know how well it goes over in audio-visual form, because audio-visual has, like, a lot less cognitive load placed on the audience, you know? Like, if it's audio-visual,
Right.
you just sit there and you process the sounds coming at you and the visuals coming at you, which is actually less difficult than reading words, decoding the words, translating those words into an image or a meaning, and then connecting all of those things together. And so that's probably what makes Baccano work really well as a light novel, because, like, that's what makes me think Baccano works even better as a light novel than it does as an animation. And you have to do a lot of work to convert all of the value from light novel form into animated form, because if you are watching something, they need to make the information dense for you, as opposed to the density of the information being something that you are digging through in a more tactile manner in a book. Am I making sense?
Sort of. So you're saying
Yeah,
that
I generally
because you
understand
have to
your point.
work harder to get the information out of Baccano, you're more when it's a light novel, you're more engaged with the text and it's easier to parse what's going on.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. I disagree entirely, but yes, you make sense.
Absolutely. This is like someone being like, yeah, it's like, yeah, this car, she's a beauty. You can really feel every gear and crank turning. And then you go, yeah, that's what makes it bad. That's why it's old.
No, I get exactly what you're saying, and I know exactly why you're wrong.
Why are they wrong?
No, that shows, I think, how we have different styles for interacting with media. Because for me, like, I agree with you when it comes to the depth of it. Like, when you want to get into the real gears turning, like, understanding why this character's related to this character and how they feel about each other and all of the different multi-generational conflicts that are going on, I agree. But when it just comes to delivering the story in a way that is easiest to digest for the consumer, then I think an audiovisual medium is a lot clearer and a lot easier to get into. Because, for example, in a story like Baccano, where you have multiple, like, time periods and multiple physical settings, you can portray that instantly in one frame. Because this scene here has electricity and is on a street corner in a big city in America, and this scene over here is on a 1700s fishing boat. Like, you get that immediately, you don't have to read anything at all, you don't have to get any context, you just see it. Like with Game of Thrones, for example. You can see the textural difference between the Riverlands and Dorne and King's Landing immediately. Like,
yeah.
So
Yeah, but I mean, isn't that what Stars is saying? That because it's just given immediately to your senses, you don't have to think, and you're not going to be as engaged.
but you're
Are
still
you saying
allowed
you're going
to
to be
think.
more engaged because it's easier to get?
Yeah, kind of. I think it depends on how you typically engage with media and what you find easier. Because on the one hand, you can say, yeah, you're just being shown it on the TV screen. But you can say the same thing, like you're just being told it in the book. You just have to physically engage with it more.
You have to put some work in to think about it.
Yeah,
That is,
theoretically.
I mean, really, that's my, because like Jams put it in a way that makes me like reflect that I'm like, huh, yeah, I'm not dumb. It's hard to process all that information for me, because that's, you know, with a book, there's a lot more going into it, right?
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to a TV show where it is, you see a frame and you're like, all right, these are two different settings.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly.
Yeah, like, I jokingly say that you're wrong. Of course I don't think that you're wrong. I'm just saying, for me, when I want to sit down and really delve into something, I prefer that thing makes it as easy as possible for me. Because to me, when there are, like, different time periods and settings, for example, it's easier when I don't have to put in the work to figure out where and when we are, and I can just focus on the things that are quote-unquote important. Like, delving into how this choice of setting affects the way this scene plays out, how these two characters, like, have been established to this point, and why they're having the conversation that they're having and make the word choices that they do. I don't have to put in any mental load into figuring out, where are they? When are they? You know?
What's going on here?
Does that translate into not liking, like, anachronic styles of storytelling then?
No, I really do like
because
those,
it is
actually.
out of okay.
But to me, that is the same general kind of enjoyment as, like, House of Leaves, where part of the enjoyment is treating it like a puzzle and figuring out what happens when.
Gotcha. All right.
But also, I think with really deftly done, it's not anachronistic storytelling. It's polychronistic.
Non-chronological?
Non-chronological
I like
storytelling.
That's anachronic.
Sure, that's a good word. I like that.
Anachronistic and anachronic are two different words.
Sure are.
Uchronia is my favorite form of time word.
My favorite kind of story is chronochronistic, where it takes place in time.
Oh, I love English prefixes and suffixes so much.
So for me, yeah, I would say that dealing with a story that is written in multiple different timelines, if it's deftly done, it feels natural, and you don't have to sit back and wonder, like, when is this happening? At what point in the story are we right now?
See, I do like that. There is something really, I think, artful about how, or rather, when you are given information.
Mm-hmm.
I think that in itself is part of the art.
Absolutely.
Of that style of storytelling. And okay.
In stories where it's a twist that there are two timelines.
Yes.
Like, I made that video about Lost Song ages ago, my favorite bad show. Lost Song is an absolutely terrible show. It's very, very bad in basically every way. It has one of the best handlings of the two different timeline twists that I have ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, it never occurred to me that there were two timelines until the twist happened, and then it immediately made sense.
Wowzers.
Yeah, and then the very next episode, the OP plays, and you're like, oh, the OP told me that there were two timelines the whole time.
You say two timelines as in two timelines of events, or two timelines as in two parallel timelines that are like
one
time
timeline
travel.
takes place in the past, and one takes place in the present.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I get you now.
It's like, yes, this made sense the entire time, I just didn't know it.
That's so neat.
Yeah, no, the skill behind the writing of that show is completely thrown away by how bad the writing of that show is. It's baffling. It's the most. It's one of the
a
most
magic eye
artfully
puzzle.
done, badly written shows I've ever seen. It's so confusing. But I
Wait,
love
but
it.
can you remind me what is bad about its writing? Is it the character writing or
The character
something
writing,
else
the
about the plot?
dialogue, the plot points, the pacing. The fact that it's a medieval fantasy show that features a literal TED Talk about the moon falling down to Earth.
Oh, what about the land?
Well, there's some context you're missing.
Should we watch this next month? I feel like we should. I feel like
I'm
we should
down.
dive in.
I'm always down to watch Lost Song. It is unironically one of my favorite anime. I think it would hit my top 30. I don't know about my top 25.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's so much fun. Like, get a group of friends together if you watch it and watch the dub. But, like, the way I will sell this to people, if you haven't seen my video or if it's been a while, is that the main character has a magic power where she can sing a song that heals people. And she's being hunted by the government for it. And there's a scene where her hometown is burned down because the government is coming to look for her. She returns home, she sees her house on fire, and she goes up to the building, and she finds that her sister is under rubble, and she's burning, and she's dying, but she can't lift the rubble to get her out, because she's not strong enough. So, she's holding her sister in her arms, and she's trying to sing the Song of Healing, but she can't because she's crying too hard because her sister is dying under a burning building. Which should be so sad.
That
But
sounds
it's so
very
funny.
sad.
It's so
It sounds
funny
so yanking on the heartstrings.
because the second her sister dies, she belts out singing. This is not a musical, for the record.
Oh.
It's so awful. It's really bad. I love Baccano.
Baccano, which is really
I
good.
love
Yeah,
Baccano.
Baccano's my favorite
Well,
show.
Okay, well, see, I think we should get into, because we like you said before, Bryant, you said Baccano is really good, and there's not a lot to talk about because we get to all the good things. What are the bad things in Baccano?
Good question.
Because there are some.
Huey, can you explain the character of Huey Laforet to me? Because
No, I can't.
Huey Laforet.
Huey
the devil
Laforet
decided
seems
that
to be
he
like a
kinda liked that
stand-in for the
guy.
devil in a show that has the actual devil in it.
but he doesn't even like. Actually, why is he in prison? What did he do?
He's
He
immortal.
existed as an immortal, and
Yeah.
the government was like, can't be doing that. I assume. I don't know. We never learned necessarily. Like, was he doing crimes? I forgot. I feel like he wasn't.
Everyone
I
in this
think
show is
it's-
doing crimes and none of them are in jail.
And the one guy who is in jail did not do any crimes.
I think
As far as
I
we're
think
aware.
his
Society.
I think his crime is that he was immortal and they found out. Like, I think that was
Sure,
what that because
like-
they were just like monitoring him.
Just seeing if he dies. Like, because when that guy comes into his prison cell, he's like, yeah, your daughter wants you out of prison for a minute. There's some conspiracy going on. He's not like, and of course we're not going to let that happen because you're in here for life. Like,
Yeah.
Huey's like, oh yes, that makes sense. My daughter, she does not understand my long-term machinations that I'm not going to hide from you, Mr. Prison Guard. We all understand
What
that
you
I
gonna
have
do, kill
long-term
me?
machinations. There's a character named Jacuzzi Splot in this show.
I love Jacuzzi Spot. Oh my gosh, it's crazy how. Okay, so Jacuzzi Spot reminds me a little bit of one of the Yu-Gi-Oh protagonists. He's like my
Sure.
second favorite Yu-Gi-Oh protagonist, but that's I don't know why. I felt the need
Wait,
to
which
bring it
one?
up.
Yuya?
No, actually, Yuga's my favorite. My second
I
favorite,
see.
however, is Yuma Tsukumo. I love him so much.
Oh my
Anyway,
god.
I know
every-
he's annoying, and I love him.
Everything after Jaden, or I'm sorry, Judai. That's my goat. That's one of my favorite characters of all time. So
Who?
everything after him, I was like, it goes downhill. It was from GX, the second one.
That's crazy that you say the second one. 5Ds is like a darling amongst the community, I think.
I
But
know,
anyway, it's
fuck
like,
5Ds. It's not as good as my GOAT GX. Nothing will ever be
Listen,
better than GX.
Zexal is my Yu-Gi-Oh! TM. It is mine, and no one will have it anyway. So, okay. What I should say?
Yeah. Anyway, but
Um,
about Huey, it's not even about like the prison situation. I'm more so thinking of like the whole thing with his daughter. Like, he doesn't want anyone to find out the immortality formula, so he tells his daughter the immortality formula so she doesn't say it to anyone.
Wait, hold
I
on, real quick. Somebody in the chat said the new Fate anime is by the writer of Baccano. Are you serious? Fate
Yeah, it
Strange
is.
Fake is written by this guy? I'm actually watching it now. I'm actually legitimately
See,
going
I've
to
always
watch
been
it now.
interested in the premise of Fate. I love a battle royale.
Yeah, except it's all dog shit. It's all bullshit all the way down.
Fuck
Even
up.
Zero
No,
was
it
like
isn't.
Zero is like okay. It's like fine. It's like it's pretty cool.
But
Every
Fate
other
colon
Fate
slash
series is
slash
absolute
Baccano?
ass. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just strange fake. Because that one's based on a light novel.
Fate
I'm
slash
literally
slash
watching
Baccano sounds great.
Yeah.
ooh, fun.
Anyway, go on,
Really?
Teddy.
Well,
Yeah,
you say
I
that
mean,
Fate slash slash Baccano is just Highlander, right?
I don't know. I don't know. I
It's a
haven't
bunch
seen
of
it.
immortals getting together to fight to the death. Highlander.
That would be Baccano Fate. Yes, yeah, that's exactly what it would be.
Sorry, Tenet, go
Which
ahead.
is basically what Baccano is anyway.
yeah. So just about Huey and Shande, because so Huey does not want anyone to find out the immortality formula, which is reasonable enough, and to assure that no one finds out the immortality formula, he tells his daughter the immortality formula so she doesn't say it to anyone.
Well, like, okay, because, like, Huey didn't know it, though. I don't think he ever knew it. Did he?
But he did. I mean,
Mm,
that's the thing. Like, he told the formula to his daughter. That's how she knows, and that's why she cut her tongue.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that, hold on, okay. So, I straight up don't remember them saying that he told her how it works, because, like, I thought that, like, she had done that specifically, like, as a measure against, what's the phrase I'm looking for? Like, I thought she had done that so that nobody could get to her father through her ever for any reason. Like, she is for some reason fiercely protective of her father, like, of her own volition. And like, you could, like, but also they have like a mind link. Why are they telepathic with one another?
Yeah.
This has to have something to do with his relationship with the
yeah,
devil. Like, what?
it had to have been. My read
Maybe
of
that's
it was
why,
that
because they have
he
a
told
telepathic
her.
bond.
I assume that it was like he told her like that, like the way that he became immortal, not necessarily like the knowledge of the specific like medicine, the cure all elixir. Like I don't think he knew that, but he probably let her know that like, hey, we summoned the devil and he made us immortal, right? And you know, and I feel bad calling him the devil because he straight up says he's like, I did not agree to being called a demon, so I don't know what you guys are on, but
I
I
thought
mean
he
he's like a
said you can
shadowy
call me
monster
the devil
guy.
if you want to.
Yeah, he does say that, but he's like, I didn't agree to that, but whatever. You know, that's what he basically shrugs his shoulders and is like, it's fine. That being said, I think that was the information that he told Shanae was just that we summoned the devil and this is how we became immortal. Not this is what the elixir is and what it is made out of and here's how you recreate it. I don't think she knows that.
Yeah, but then like, why would she cut her tongue over that?
Well,
Because she doesn't want to accidentally sell out her dead. Or
yeah,
Well,
it's
yeah,
partially
but
because of the
that's
telepathic
because
bomb thing. I think is like she okay. So the idea is that because she knows she is very deeply connected to her father, both because she is his daughter and also because they are telepathically connected, and she knows things about her father and his life and like what's going on with him. Because of everything she knows, she Link Breath of the Wild style, I guess, was like, how about I just take a vow of silence, and to make sure that I follow that vow, I'm going to cut my tongue out. Like, she's just dedicated. She's just a dedicated person, which is something that Vino appreciates about her. And he's like, I'm gonna marry that woman.
Yeah.
Wait, but then are you saying she knew the secret anyway because of the telepathy?
I
Which
think she
secret?
knew
Like,
I think she knew the secret of the devil. I think she knew that the devil was real and made people immortal. I think that is what she knew.
I think she knew the formula because I think it's like explicitly said in the special that that's what he confessed to her.
Well, bro,
That's
I
what he
haven't
told
seen
her
the
she had
special,
to
so
keep.
goddamn, you just spoiled that shit for me.
Horrible.
okay. So she does know the immortality secret, like how to make it. If that's the case, that's interesting. Slizzard must have lost complete track of Huey.
Yeah.
But like that's interesting now. It's like because like how did he figure it out? Figure that out. Well, I guess he's keeps talking to the devil. So
Yeah.
Like, how did Huey discover the formula?
yeah, like I thought for a second, like, but what isn't the point that Misa was the only one who knew? And then I was like, wait, Huey continued talking to the devil, of course.
Yeah, he was still talking to the devil, so maybe he did like figure out eventually, and then he told his daughter.
That could be.
Saying that though, who cares? Like who gives a shit whether or not he knew? He's like barely in the show, and he's like a nothing character. Like he is there as a character to be like, yes, I am more interesting than I actually appear to be, but you won't know anything that happens with me because it doesn't happen. And then that's it.
I think you mean, I am a character who is more interesting than he appears to be.
I didn't watch the dub. I didn't even know he was French.
You should have been imagining him as French. That's a French name.
Yeah, La Forêt, c'est un nom français.
I guess I didn't register that his last name was French. Like I should have. Now that you say it out loud, and I'm like, yeah, that's French.
Now
But
that I'm doing this accent, this is something that bothers me that has literally nothing to do with Baccano at all.
What?
Literally nothing, not a damn thing. So I was watching Gilmore Girls the other day.
Go on.
And there's a character who's French. His name is Michel Girard, and he's the best character in the whole show.
Okay.
And the actual best character in the whole show, Emily Gilmore, she gets into not a fight with her husband Richard, but a spat where their daughter has suggested going to Europe in the spring. And they say, we can't go to Europe in the spring, we always go in the fall. She's like, well, what's wrong with the spring? It's like, Europe in the spring? What is there to see in the spring? We go to Europe in the fall, every fall. Every 2 years we go to Europe in the fall. Like, we'll throw in another trip in the spring. Go in the spring. It's like, well, we can't go in the spring. Going twice in 2 years, the costs are exorbitant. And why in the spring? We go in the fall. It's beautiful in the fall. And it's this whole to-do. And it's like the cold open of the episode, too. And the next episode, Emily goes to the inn where her daughter, Lorelai, works. And she goes up to the concierge, this man, Michel Girard. And she hears his accent. And she says, oh, where are you from in France? He says, oh, I'm from Paris. It's like, oh, I adore Paris. Paris in the spring is beautiful. And I'm sitting here on my couch like hell it is. Like hell it is. You've never been. You have never been. You made a whole to-do, spent 5 whole goddamn minutes on a conversation with your entire family last episode talking about how you would never dare set foot on the cobbled streets of Paris in the spring. Just last episode.
I didn't know a single lie could make you this passionate.
I don't think she was lying. I think that the same writer did not look at both scripts.
It's not played off like a lie.
I don't think so. I don't feel like Emily Gilmore is the kind of person who would say Paris in the spring as a lie when she could have just said Paris in the fall as the truth.
Yeah. But like, it's like.
Anyway,
that,
as
somehow
I
that made
said,
my brain hippity hop over
my
too.
favorite part of Baccano is definitely when Rory gets together with Jess and breaks up with Dean. That weird early 2000s arc. Yeah, that's good stuff.
Maybe
There is a
the
moment in
fact
the early 2000s where Miria and Isaac are scanning cell phones. I love
And their
them.
cameo in Gilmore Girls?
Oh shit.
Unironically, Isaac and Miria in Gilmore Girls would make a great episode.
Did anyone, just because this is the first time that I finished the show, did anyone else think that they were doing a 9/11 thing with the 2001?
What?
Because it
No?
flashes to
Oh my goodness.
Go on.
Keep going, I'm sorry.
it flashes to the year 2001, and I'm like, okay, 2001, and then immediately it cuts to police sirens going, and I was like, are they are
Did
they are they doing it? But then they didn't, and I was like, oh well, then who cares?
I feel like they would have chosen fire trucks if they were doing that,
Yeah.
right?
God,
I guess.
Isaac and Miria did 9/11. What a way to end the show.
That would be so funny. That would be so freaking funny.
Like, I literally thought the end of the show was them just being like, we saw 9/11, and then that was it. And I was like, what the fuck?
We solved it.
No, we saw 9/11.
Oh,
The show ends with Isaac and Miria jumping out of a plane right before. They don't have parachutes, and this is gonna suck.
Well, they're immortal. They'll get over it.
They'll be fine. But
Yeah.
it's not gonna be fun
Once
in
they
the
untape
meantime.
themselves.
Fun little, not quite fact, I guess, but technically Baccano, crosses timelines with Kinpatsu no Genie.
What?
Oh, yeah!
True!
How do you mean? Just because of the 200-year gap
Yes,
between the...
Because,
Yeah.
dude, Miza definitely saw the Civil War. He definitely, absolutely 100% saw it.
That's crazy to
And
think about.
Would Misa join the
And that's it.
Confederates?
No.
No,
I don't
I
think
think
so.
he'd be. I think he'd be.
I don't
like,
think
he'd
he would
abstain
join
from,
either side. I feel like when you're
Yeah.
that old, you kind of want to blend in.
Yeah, I think he'd
Also,
abstain
he's
from
like
doing anything.
in the Cabri. What's it called again? It's not the mafia. It's a thing that's definitely not the mafia.
Sure.
I read this in the Wikipedia article for Baccano, which is also where I got my silly little joke for the chat status, where I'm like, Baccano! Translation, ruckus, hullabaloo. Anyway, hold on. Okay, Prohibition era. Okay, characters include alchemists, thieves, thugs, mafiosi, and camortizi. Camorrizi. It's an Italian mafia-type criminal organization and criminal society originating in the region of Campania. It is one of the oldest and largest criminal organizations in Italy, dating back to the 18th century. The Camorra's organizational structure is divided into individual groups called clans, and every capo or boss is the head of the clan, in which there can be tens or hundreds of affiliates, depending on the clan's power and structure. So, Misa is functionally like very high in the ranks of a Camorra of a Camorra clan.
Yeah, he's an executive.
Wait,
Yeah,
oh,
that.
and this is like before they become immortal.
Maybe it was before they became immortal.
I don't think so. I think it was probably after, right? Because
Maybe he
they
started
wouldn't have.
something. I don't know.
Yeah,
Joined
they
one.
wouldn't. They wouldn't have been around.
Well, no, because like, okay, 18th century is the 1700s, in the same way that 2020s is the 21st century.
Right. I missed that detail.
They would have been among the first ones.
Sure. Yeah.
But this is
At the very least,
there's no
the guy
functional difference
talking about-
between these people
Yeah,
and the
but
mafia.
there's really no functional difference, right?
Like,
There's still just like
No.
There's no
mafia
functional
type
difference
gangsters.
between the mafia and the yakuza. It's just different words for the same kind of, we'll say,
Concept.
para-governmental group.
Para-governmental.
Yeah, I guess that's a way you could put it.
Paragovernmental is a very funny phrase to me.
See, the thing about Baccano for me, is that after a certain point, it is just plot, and you're like, well, what the fuck do you say? Like, what do you say about the show? But,
Yeah.
I think that is part of the reason why I don't hold the show in such high regard as everybody else. Because what do you say? I think because there is so, I mean, again, there are themes and it is good stuff, but there's so little of that going on, that it's hard to really dig into the nooks and crannies of the characters, even though that is what the show is about. Like, it is about the character interactions. It's about all these personalities bouncing off of each other. It's about putting them in all these different weird, wacky scenarios and stuff like that. But it feels like all these characters have something to say, but very little of them actually do.
Well, then you look
Yeah,
at other shows you can compare it to.
Odd Taxi. Although I feel like Odd Taxi is
Odd
actually
Taxi's
much better.
structurally pretty similar.
Yeah, right. It's structurally pretty similar, but its characters feel like they have a lot more depth.
It's true.
Which
I was thinking
like-
of other Mafia shows, but
Mafia shows.
but yeah, I like the
I don't know
comparison to
about
Odd
Mafia
Taxi a
shows.
lot.
I don't
Yeah.
feel like Odd Taxi. Like, I don't feel like the characters in Odd Taxi overall have more depth than the characters in Baccano.
I agree, but I think
But
what they've got is more unique.
Yes, I would say that. Yes.
More unique.
I don't think so. Like, especially, I feel like in Baccano especially, like there's a lot of characters, but they're not deep, or rather, like they compensate for the lack of depth by being very quirky, and that's what makes the show fun to watch. It's not boring, but we do like result with this whole issue of like it hasn't even been 2 hours and we're kind of running out of stuff to say.
I think Baccano can be pretty boring at times.
Mhm.
Like I said, I think a decent part of the midsection of the show, I am like, please, can we get to the fucking point?
Right.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean,
I
I
really
get
like Rachel's side.
what?
I don't know if
And,
that
like-
is the right word. Sorry.
the mystery with the Genoard family, like Dallas, like what his deal is, and like Eve's whole involvement in the show, completely unnecessary. It's like, who gives a fuck about any of this? There's like not really a payoff to it.
Thinking back on Odd Taxi, my biggest area of praise for that whole show is that there's not a moment wasted in the whole thing. We talked about Homo sapiens and how that plot line could maybe have been cut, but aside from that, there isn't a second of the entire 11-episode script that isn't completely necessary to the plot.
Yeah.
And that is beautiful writing. And I think Baccano is pretty close to there too, but only by virtue of having so much stuff.
It's got so
Yeah.
many plots overlapping
Sure.
that you don't like. You could technically separate out, like, if we want to select 4 thematic consistency, we can weed out these things. If we want to select 4 entertaining character interactions, we can weed out these things. If we want to select 4 specifically the train nonsense and almost nothing else, we can weed out
We
these
can weed
things.
out
Like,
anything that's
like,
not on the train.
We can weed out.
Right?
It would be very interesting to see an edit of Baccano that is chronologically what's happening on the train from start to finish and nothing else. It would be very interesting to see that.
I think it wouldn't be a very interesting show.
I agree.
Which I think that's something I wanted to
In the
mention at
context
one
of
point.
Baccano already
Like,
existing.
what?
In the context of Baccano already existing, seeing someone edit together, like, so this happened at this point chronologically, and then we keep going chronologically on this train, jumping around between character perspectives when
Yeah.
things are happening simultaneously, until we get to the end of the train ride, and then we see nothing else of the show.
That's one
That
thing
would
be
that I think
interesting.
is very important to think about when it comes to stories with a unique structure, is if it were not for that structure, would this still be good?
Yeah.
Ah.
And I think Baccano would still be okay. It's a fine story with a bit of interest in it. The characters are fun. But there's this musical to come back to my all-time favorite media obsession, I guess. It's my wife's favorite musical, and she says it's very bad. It's called The Last 5 Years.
What?
Yeah, you know
That's so
it, Tom?
funny.
Yeah.
There's this musical called The Last 5 Years, where the premise of the show is that there are two characters. There's a man and a woman in a relationship, and the story starts with her at the end of their relationship going backwards, and him at the beginning of their relationship going forwards in time. So we see the end of the relationship from her perspective and the beginning of the relationship from his perspective, which is cool. Really cool. The relationship is boring as sin. If you get rid of the very cool story structure, there is nothing in this show to enjoy. The music is cool, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest draw of the show. Is the
Well, it's
music.
the only draw of the show, is that it had a cool idea to start a relationship at the end for one character
Yeah.
and at the beginning for another.
Yeah.
But
Well, then
without
that's
that quirk of story
yeah.
structure, it has nothing. So is that true for
Yeah.
Baccano? I don't think so.
No, because
mean-
I think the characters do enough. Yeah,
Same.
to your point.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to say, I think it kind of is, although, like, of course, to a much lesser extent. I don't think Baccano could have been more than okay if it was, like, set out linearly. In a way, like, the show felt like a bit of a puzzle, like, mildly difficult. It's not that hard to keep track of what's going across the different time periods. But, if it was, like, set in front of you, completed, then it would be like, okay. That's a puzzle. I mean, I guess it wouldn't be a puzzle then, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
you
all
would-
like-
You would
Huh?
definitely be like, it would still keep your attention and be suspenseful. You know what I mean? Like, because Baccano has a lot of that, where it's like it has some very really good cliffhangers, where, and then obviously it cuts away to a different scene, but in terms of like ending episodes on like really important plot beats, like Baccano is really good at that. And then just getting the answers to those plot beats in the next episode, like that is still, that's still having a basic structure it would still suit that style of storytelling.
yeah, like,
If
I'm
that
not
makes sense.
saying... I'm not asking would Baccano be good if we just laid out all of the events chronologically. But,
Sure.
like, would Baccano be good if we took a more
If they were told chronologically.
traditional... Well, that's not what I'm saying either. Like,
Oh.
Baccano specifically is hard to separate from its story structure. But, like, I don't know. If we got this information through flashbacks and flash forwards instead of just treating it as separate stories that we're telling at the same time.
Oh yeah, I get what you mean.
Sure.
yeah, it was just if it was more linear, but not necessarily.
We'll just say
completely
if we
linear.
had a quote-unquote main character timeline.
Yeah,
Right, yeah. A main character timeline.
But who's the main character?
Yes.
But who's the main
Who's
character?
The most
the
main
important question
character
for
in
any
the
journalist to
story?
ask. 35 points, Tom.
They dead ass. They were like, we could say Firo is the main character of this story, and he's like not. He's like barely in the show.
Well, they chose not to. They chose not to say that.
I
They
know,
chose not
but
to say that.
when you introduce the character and be like, you could say we are not going to, but you could say this is the main character, and then he is like the first big introduction that we get.
He's hot and charming.
In my mind, he is very hot and charming. Let's not, I'm not taking, I'm not knocking him on that. I'm just saying, I expected him to be a little bit more involved in the going on of the show, and he was
I
not.
kind of did as well. Like he's the first character on the third character after Isaac and Miria in the OP who gets the.
I think the big thing is that like he doesn't seem to really undergo a character arc, and characters that don't undergo a character arc would usually then need to like fundamentally change the area around them, but he also doesn't do that. Isaac and Miria fundamentally change the genre around them, and then he is also there.
I mean, forget about a character arc. Bro doesn't even have a character.
Whoa.
Whoa, hot and charming, Tenek. We've been over
hot.
this, man.
And charming.
He is hot
I
and
think-
charming.
Ah, damn! I forgot about that.
I think his charm interacting with Ennis, who is like this very aloof, personality, hot and aloof, right? I think interacting, like seeing those two interact, and you're like, all right, yeah, like this is fun, like this is cool, but there is so little to go off of because they have so little screen time together that I'm just like,
think they are
damn, that's a little
all
disappointing.
hot. Like, there isn't one that I would
they're
say
all
is
hot, man.
But what I'm saying is there isn't one that I would say is like beautiful or cute.
Slizzard.
Or... No, Zillard is hot.
Old man hot.
He's old man hot.
Yeah.
He's hot and old, but he's hot.
Yeah, hot and old.
He's not a commodity.
Not
Let's
like
see.
graceful, like excluding like Cheslaw, I guess.
Excluding Cheslaw,
Well,
I
yeah,
guess.
excluding the children, of course.
Yeah. They're all hot. Miria, I guess, is cute, maybe? But like
She is very
cute
funny.
and hot.
I was about to say hot and cute. Yeah, you could
Yeah.
just say that.
Okay, but like, let's not get ahead of ourselves. I feel like this is a kind of a general anime thing. Like, ugly people don't exist in anime.
But that's
Right.
not what I'm
No,
saying.
that's not
I
true.
never
That's not
entertained
true.
the possibility that any of them were ugly. But like of the various kinds of attractive, they're all hot.
Tenek, you can't say that there's no character in anime that is ugly when anime is literally known for the ugly bastard archetype. Like there
Okay,
is a
well,
specific
look-
trope called the
Look,
ugly
Don, I did
bastard.
not.
But we know
Maybe
that
you
they're
haven't
making a
get this,
deliberate
but-
effort not to have ugly characters.
I think in this anime club we haven't watched porn yet, and I assume we're gonna keep it that way.
I
Right?
love what you're saying yet.
Well, okay, all right. To be fair, that does not just exist in porn. That
The
does not
very
just
first
exist in porn.
show we watched was Yamada's First Time, which is not porn, but does have an explicit sex scene.
Did it have an ugly bastard?
I don't remember.
No, I don't think.
I don't think so.
You know what did though is what was it called again? Bucket List of the Dead. Psalm 100.
Psalm 100 did have an ugly bastard character.
Yeah,
So
that's
I'm-
true.
I'm
And
going
when
through
did
my
we watch
mal.
that? That was like back in 2024.
I'm going through my mal looking for other Mafia shows to compare Baccano to. And I guess I just don't watch Mafia shows. Like,
The only other one that I
I
can
think
think of
so.
off the top of my head that's like an anime is like 91 Days that I've seen.
That
you
was
got
also what I
Banana
was thinking.
Fish. Like,
I've never seen Banana
Banana
Fish.
Fish is a mom?
yeah. Like there's Sakamoto Days, but that doesn't really count.
I was also gonna say you could say Reborn, Hitman Reborn, but that also doesn't really count. That's like a shonen battle manga.
Mafia
you know, so-
anime. Enter 91 Days, Baccano, Black Lagoon, Banana Fish, The Fable, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Golden Wind.
Oh yeah,
Um,
that is a
Technically
mafia show.
true.
I guess.
Akiba Maid
It's
Wars.
bad, but I guess.
Akiba Maid War. I love that. Yeah, people are just saying Baccano 91 Days and Banana Fish.
Yeah, that's
there's
crazy.
not a lot of like really classic like again because there's a thing where it's like there are no period pieces. That's what it really is. There are no period pieces of mafia in anime. It is very rare.
Yeah.
There are shows that include the mafia. There are shows that include the yakuza, but there is, it is just rare to find that specific genre.
Like,
Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, like historical anime in general are like it's not that big of a genre.
it exists though.
Yeah,
It's mostly like
it's just-
Sengoku when you get into historical anime though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty restricted.
Speaking of, I just learned that the Romance of the Three Kingdoms is a novel.
You didn't know that?
Wait.
I
What did
thought
you
it was
think
just
it
like
was?
like a historical fiction kind of tradition kind of tale. I didn't know that some guy actually just sat down and wrote it.
Yeah, I mean, the Three Kingdoms period was a real thing, so...
Well, yeah, of course, but I didn't know that The Romance of the Three Kingdoms is a specific book that somebody wrote ages ago.
Yeah. I think the lore of it has also been...
And it's just you.
Skill issue.
Oh, did somebody... Oh, the stream. I think the Three Kingdoms just got expanded upon as, you know, things are... Like, with stuff that old is bound to happen with a topic that vast and broad.
Yeah, and I thought that was all that happened. I thought there was just a bunch of myth and lore around the Three Kingdoms period that we kind of accepted over time.
Yeah.
But no, there's just a book. There's one book that expands all of it. I didn't know that.
Something, your boy Kong Ming. Anyway,
and it leads to Baccano.
It leads to Baccano. It does lead to Baccano because Isaac mentions it.
He mentions the Three Kingdoms between Chow Chow, Liu Bei, and Billy the Kid.
I forget because they changed that in the dub. I think in the sub he says Yoshitsune, which is also wrong, but it's less obviously wrong.
I think.
But, I mean, I guess that's the point that, like, Isaac is an idiot. He doesn't even know history, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's not his history, to be fair.
It's
stupid American.
I think most Americans don't know the Three Kingdoms. And that's fine. You don't have to know the Three Kingdoms.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay, no need to justify your own ignorance.
I already said them.
Listen.
I said what the kingdoms were. I know them.
Okay?
I'm one of the good ones.
I'm better than them. There, I said it.
Anyway, so
Freerin. My favorite part of Baccano is when Freerin shows up and kills Satan.
Okay. Well, look, I still have at least this as a topic, and after that, like, I'm gonna be out of it. Opening and ending.
Yeah, we haven't talked about the opening.
Really like the opening.
That was iconic. That's probably part of the reason it got so popular.
Fucking sucks. I don't know what.
Whoa, come on!
They put everything into the opening, and then the ending is like, what if train tracks underwater?
It's a pretty song. Come on.
It's a fine song.
It's pretty, I guess.
But like,
I've forgotten what it sounds like.
It doesn't, like, the ending song doesn't totally fit at all, and it's like some kind of romance song in a show that isn't that much about the romance.
But it's about love, though.
I'm thinking about, like, my lavender marriage emphasis on the marriage comment now. Because, like, it's like, okay, so, like, I look at Isaac and Viria, and it's like, one, they don't share the same last name, which, like, I think that might be, like, it's like, them not being, like, married by law, I feel like is very important. What?
They aren't married, are
they? They're not married. Well, it's like, okay, they are.
They're not.
You could call them a common law marriage. You could call them, like, it's like, so when I say lavender marriage, it's like, I guess, like, I'm using it a bit more broadly than strictly the historical context of a lavender marriage is a marriage between one gay person and another person who wants to protect them, maybe a second gay person, maybe not.
Oh,
and like
they have lavender marriage energy for sure.
They have lavender marriage energy for sure. And like what I mean when I say lavender marriage emphasis on the marriage for them is this idea that like you know that like they're the same character on that popularity fall for a reason. Like they like it's like
they're one character.
The lavender part of the lavender marriage, the idea that they are like protecting one another, but like emphasis on the marriage is to say that like they appear like they're them as characters camouflage really well, so to speak. Like they seem very non-threatening. They're a little like mola molas or sloths, in a narrative sense. Which by this I mean, oh my goodness, it's like it's hard for me to articulate it exactly, but it's like. There's something about the nature of their relationship that makes me that interests me a lot because like one of the first things we see them do is like Isaac, like Miria is asking, it's like, why are we doing this? And Isaac is very confidently asserting why they're doing this. And every time she has a question, he comes up with an answer, and she will just accept the answer. Like every time he answers it, because she loves and trusts him so much, and he always wants to come up with a satisfying answer because he like it's like they're not in love, but they love each other enough to be married. If I'm not making sense, it's like I think that relationship is very interesting, and I'm not sure how to articulate why.
I understand where you're coming from, kind of.
I am a big fan of extremely dedicated, loving, non-romantic pairings. Well, it's like the same kind of shit I was talking about with Lad Russo at the very beginning. I love when people's dynamics are weird. And Isaac and Miria have a very weird dynamic. But it flows so naturally that you don't really notice.
You just think, oh, they're being weird at other people. No, they're also being weird at each other. It's just they match each other's freak, kind of.
They sort of get away with it because they're comic relief characters, but you have these two people who are not in a romantic relationship, who spend every second of their screen time together.
I don't even think they're in separate rooms ever that we see.
But, like, they spend every second of their screen time together. But they aren't equals in the relationship either, really. Like, they might see themselves that way, but Miria is absolutely the one who is, like, not being strung along in the sense that she's being, like, manipulated in
the
any
yes
way,
woman.
But she's the yes man, the yes woman in the relationship. Where she just kind of goes with whatever.
She'll sometimes ask a question and port something out, and then Isaac will be like, oh, I did not think of that. But then he immediately goes like, I know what this is.
But it's obvious.
But it's obvious.
Miria, my dear, you've raised an excellent question that I know the answer to.
I love how they like casually bring up. It's like, well, we can't give Ennis a younger brother because like it's like we can't do that. That would that just wouldn't work. It's just like there's something about like they're so casual about like it's like should we do this? It doesn't make sense. You're right. That doesn't make sense. Well, what do we do now? And then they just find a boy and they're like, would you like a younger brother?
Yes, we've found a child. But, like, I love the inconsistency in the logic there, too, because their whole thing was, we can't give Ennis a younger brother. We're not her parents.
We can't give Ennis a younger brother. We're not her parents. And they see Shezla, and Shezla's like, I'm sorry, I told you a lie. I said I was going to go visit family, but it's just somebody that I know. And, like, he's, like, too, like, discombobulated to really explain why this lie is bad. The reason the lie is bad is because he was going to kill Misa. He went there specifically because he was like, I am going to kill this man. But, like, it's like he's like, he tried to lie about himself to them. And then he couldn't not say his real name, and he's like, oh no, and then he becomes paranoid for their whole train ride. And then like, but then it's like he's like kind of having a bit of a moment, and then they go, oh, poor baby boy. And it's just like, and like, it's like the emotions are running very high to the point where like they have, I don't know if they have object permanence.
Wait, you're talking about Isaac and Miria or Jacuzzi?
I'm talking about Isaac, Miria, and their relationship to Shezla, or like their decision to be like, I know what to do. Shezla, would you like to be someone's younger brother? Which is just very funny. And it's like, they're like, oh no, he has no family. Excellent. And it's just like, I love the way that characters clash against one another. Like, it goes back to the ruckus translation of Baccano. Baccano. It's like the whole point of the show to me is really encapsulated in that title. The idea that it's like a lot of noise happening at once.
Is that
wait?
So
it's a
does
lot.
it actually not mean anything?
Well, that's the thing, is that it means whatever you like choose to like take out of it. For instance, like Shezla and Vino are the things that stick in my brain the hardest because they are like they have things in them that I care about a lot. It's like one of those like things where like it it's like a what's it called, Rorschach test. It's kind of like a Rorschach test of a fucking show where like, oh, okay, this is important to you, and that means this, that, or the other thing. Probably, it's like that means that you value this other. Like my thing about like the reading thing, like the difference between like reading the story versus watching the story being presented in front of you. It's like it's a very good show to like sort of be a litmus test for what you value in a piece of media, which is probably why so many people gravitate towards it, because it's very easy to grab onto at least something in there. It's got a lot of touch points.
I was just looking into the etymology of Baccano.
Yeah, because that's what I asked about.
No.
Oh, sorry.
Well, James was right that the word Baccano in Italian means a sudden noise or fracas, but of course it shares etymology with the English word bacchanalia and the French word bacon, which became English buccaneer.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
That is cool. I don't think it means anything, but it's cool.
Yeah, I think it means they're pirates.
They're pirates.
Every single one of them.
We go back
Every
to the
single one of
pirate
them is a
thing.
pirate. What?
We go back to the pirate thing.
Oh, the pirate thing. Again! The ship!
I personally am conflicted about the opening. Because
Why?
I think I understand and I respect the decision to do a roll call in a show with this many important characters. But also it's really boring.
What?
Yep. You heard me.
Like
Nah.
I feel like
the
one
music or
No, the music is great. I think that just sitting there watching a whole bunch of characters' title cards go by one after the other is kind of boring.
But the transitions.
The transitions are fine.
They're not fine. They're fucking great.
I've never felt so yelled at by Tenek.
This is the one thing where I put my foot down.
I do love the like. It's
Tenek leaves
from
the
the,
call
like,
in on subs
artistic-
and we never hear from him again.
I like the construction. The you can tell there is a lot of thought put into the construction of that opening based on those transitions and like the fact that like the timings of everything and just the care that coin flip was animated with.
Yeah, for
Crazy.
Sure. But also, like, I guess it kind of violates the whole theme that we were very deftly presented with in that first scene. If we choose to focus on a single character or a couple of characters in the opening. If the whole thing is like all of these people have their individual complex lives and any one of them could have been the main character of this story, I think the only way to do the OP would be to give them all equal screen time and just tell us their names.
Well, the whole opening is a reference.
To?
There was what the fuck was that show called? It was another show from the 2000s, I think. It's called Snatch. I think. I can't remember what it's called. The opening is a reference because it does the same general thing where it's like it displays all of these characters and gives them their own like title cards with all these colors, and does all the transitions for this opening. And it's not an anime. I think it's another mafia show.
Crime film from 2000.
Yeah, it's crime
by Guy Ritchie.
film. Oh, it's not a show. It's a movie.
That's just what the AI overview says. Might be wrong.
I've never seen it. I only know this little factoid. Is it actually called Snatch?
Yep.
Oh, I'm nice. Yeah, I just think they were like, hey, let's make an opening. Let's have it set to this jazzy music. You know,
It
let's
is
have it be
also
this
called
reference.
Guns N' Roses, the song,
Oh yeah, it is.
with an apostrophe S on guns.
Okay.
Persona.
The
There
guns
you go.
and roses.
It's the and roses belonging to the guns.
Ah, yes, of course.
So yeah, I think when we're talking about like, I don't know, the structure of the opening, it's hard for me to like say anything about it when I know it's just like a big reference, you know.
Fair enough.
When I know they're just like, hey, they're doing this. There's no other. Well, I'm not gonna say there's no other deeper meaning behind it of like why they specifically chose to do XYZ, because I think the way that they, like I said before, I think the way that they portray Vino in the opening is interesting because they make it so that he's important, but he doesn't get his own title card, right? But outside of that, it is literally just like, here's the characters, there you go.
Like, I can't really
Can you
criticize
link the
because
opening?
obviously the opening of Baccano is iconic. It's one of the most famous openings in anime. So it did its job better than I could have done, for sure. But I'm just thinking of that as a reference compared to the opening of Chainsaw Man. And just how dense and full the opening of Chainsaw Man is, with references that like add to the depth and the interpretation of all of these characters in the opening. And like, also,
yeah, I think
they're doing the reference.
I don't know.
They didn't have to do the reference. They could have done something else.
Yeah.
I don't think it matters.
I think it does matter, but I think in the sense of like comparing it to Chainsaw Man, there is one genre that Baccano wants to reference because that is the genre that it fulfills, right? That it is going for. Chainsaw Man is just like, let's throw in a bunch of movie references because Fujimoto is a film nerd, right? And they pick out those film references very specifically, and there's a lot of thought behind it, but you also wouldn't know that just by seeing it. You'd have to know all of those movies.
Sure.
So for an opening as like, I guess like dense, you know, with information as Chainsaw Man's, it's so hard to compare it to Baccano, which is just like, here are the characters. Sure, it is a reference, like they're both referential, but that they're both going for such different things.
Can you link the opening of the show this is referencing?
Snatch?
What, Snatch?
I guess. I'll try to find it now.
Yeah, I think. Well, Brian said it was a movie, right?
Yeah, I saw that it was a movie. Be right back.
Yeah. Again, I have never
Movies
seen
don't
this
have openings.
before. But yeah, this I guess I literally don't know anything about it besides that is where the reference came from.
I see.
Yeah.
I think
Saying that though, the opening is iconic. The opening song is iconic. Yeah, sure, the ending is not as iconic, but I really like the song. I also had to skip all of them, basically. I had to skip the opening and ending.
In order to be efficient?
In order to be efficient, yes. I finished the show last night at like 2 a.m.
Oh my god. Why do you guys?
I shake your hand.
I watched most of it yesterday. I watched from episode 5 to the end.
He's back.
I'm
He's
back.
returned. Yes, he's back.
Anyway,
Did you just have like lag the drive to start earlier because you didn't like the show before?
No, it was literally just I was doing other things, and then the week came up, and I was like, "Wait, am I not supposed? I'm supposed to watch Baccano this week, right?" And then I was like, "Oh shit, yeah, I do." And then I was just really busy
He's
doing
re-
other
Y'all have
things.
awful sleep schedules.
Oh my god.
Anyway, I finished Baccano this morning.
See, I finished it before him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Okay.
stayed up late last night. I had three more episodes I needed to watch, so I watched 2 last night and 1 this morning.
Nifty.
Well, I always
God.
want to watch the show right before the discussion, just so I remember it.
Oh, so it's fresh in your brain?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, you
Yeah.
have the biggest duty to keep the stream interesting, I suppose.
I always try and watch it the week before the stream,
Mm.
like the week leading up to it, so
Time to
it's
I
fresh in
always
my
like
mind, but
to-
I still have time. Yeah.
I like to try. I don't always succeed, but I like to try to sparse out. Like, I want to watch like one episode in a day, like over the course of a few different days leading up to the anime club. Like either like in the first half of the month or throughout the entirety of the month. Didn't get around to doing that this month, but it feels like I have a better time digesting things and like forming thoughts than if I just go watching it all. What are my thoughts? I just have feelings and I can't articulate anything, you know?
Yeah. See, maybe with Baccano for me, I was just thinking like because I had to binge basically the 2/3 of the show, right? It allowed me to like just like kind of tune out time. Like I didn't think about like the pacing of it all because I was just like I have to get through this today. So to me, like even though I thought it was very slow, I kept checking like the time, like however long it was taking, and I was like, oh yeah, it's only been so long. Like it is still a normal episode of anime. Like it's still like whatever 24 minutes or something like that. So I didn't, even though I did think the pacing was very slow, I guess it just didn't bother me this time because I knew I had to finish it. Or like binge it all at once.
I think it is really interesting how each episode feels longer than 20 minutes. Like that is very interesting how like it's got almost the same effect as Bluey, which like okay like makes me sound like I'm crazy. Bluey
Really
is
bring
like
me out the
7
comparison.
minutes long exactly.
It reminds
Like
me of this musical,
exactly
Bluey.
7 minutes long.
Please talk to me about Bluey, Jibs.
It's like, okay, Bluey episodes are all exactly 7 minutes long, but because of like the way that they tend to be like structured and like spread out, it feels like you have just like watched like 20 minutes of television. It really does. Because like the I don't know what exactly they're doing because each episode is very different, and that's the thing. That's another part is that each episode is very different from another episode, so you can't really fall back on this is the formula and I can anticipate the beats coming up. And that's another thing that Baccano was doing, where it's like it's got a very improvisational jazz feel to it. Baccano does, whereas like in as an example, in my favorite episode of Bluey, there is this it's that classic like children's show thing where two characters are describing the same event but from completely different perspectives. Where like the girls are like, "We were playing early, baby, with," and then he stole the baby, and then Rusty's over here like, "What are you talking about? I walked up to you guys going, 'Excuse me, ladies, is this a hospital?' And you all were screaming at me for no reason." And it's like, the idea is that like, and it's like so they have to like kind of like, the teacher has to tell them, okay, kids, so you tell your story first and then you tell yours. And then we go back there and we go, oh, now I understand. It's like this weird looping around technique. It's like it's the repetition, I think. It's like, Baccano also repeats things, right? Like, it's like you see a scene and then there's a while and then maybe it's the next episode before you see that exact same scene again. and it's like unmodified. And I think that's really important. It's like that's another part of that specific episode that I really like, is that like in a lot of other shows, when two characters are describing the same event from different perspectives, it's also like kind of mischaracterizing other characters in the scene, where it's like the silly character now looks completely ridiculous from this serious character's perspective, and vice versa. But like with this one, it's just like, no, the events are exactly the same. It's just that like because they converge at different points, the kids are talking about them very differently. And it's like that the I have to assume that like the reason that episode feels so much longer than it is because of the way that it is sectioned off and the things that repeat when they repeat. But I'm not sure how to like break it down any further than that.
What
You know,
specific episode are we talking about?
the episode is titled "Early Baby." It wasn't the ones that I showed you in Scrub. But like it's just like it's an episode where there's a gaggle of girls and they're playing hospital, and one of the girls is like, "Ooh, we should do Early Baby." And it's like basically the idea is that like they are role playing through a situation that one of them like she had a younger sister who was born prematurely, and so she's describing to them, it's like, so here's how you play the game. But then they leave the baby in a little box. They leave their fake little doll baby in a box, because she's like, it's like, you gotta leave her at the hospital overnight and say that you have to be the bravest you've ever been, etc., etc. So they leave the baby in a box. Then a minute later, Rusty comes up. He's holding the baby in his arms, limping, and he has a little night hat on. It's like, excuse me, ladies, is this a hospital? And then they start screaming. They're like, because he stole the baby. And like, I don't. You asked me to describe this, so it's
No,
like,
I'm having fun.
I'm fun.
Meanwhile, from Rusty's perspective,
Honestly.
what has happened is he was playing as a knight for a kingdom of dolls that someone else was doing, and then he chased someone else who was playing the dragon all the way across the room. And they both were like, "Hey, we should use this thing that's left unattended. It looks a little more like a small baby princess doll." It's like, excellent idea. So they swap them out. And then he kills the dragon, but he has an injury, and he goes, "Hark, a hospital!" And so he's just continuing to play around. But then the girls start screaming and causing a ruckus, and he's like, "Huh?" And it's like. And it's like when they all finally like circle back, it's like, oh, well, okay, I understand now, I guess. And it's like there's also time for the wind down. I think it's very interesting how like Baccano is a little more high octane, of course, in a single episode of Bluey that's 7 minutes long, but feels like it's 20. But it's like because Baccano is more high octane, like the episodes chain together in a way that kind of makes time mean less, like a room without windows.
I also think, in that sense that you're talking about, is that it's also explained to the characters, like the order of events. We don't get that like in Baccano. Like nobody's like sitting Isaac and Miriam down, like being like, "Hey, this is what happened. This is, what Jacuzzi was going on, or like what was going on with Jacuzzi. This is what was going on with Lad on the train, and this is what you guys were doing." Like, we don't have that. So for in terms of Bluey, right, it is the characters reflecting on their experiences, and we get to sit with that. We get to sit with them, giving their sides of the story and them reflecting on that. There is no reflection in Baccano, which I think is very purposeful, right? The reflection comes at the beginning of just like, these characters, the journalists are like, we're reflecting on this, but we weren't involved. We're not, a part of this story. We're just essentially laying the groundwork for the narrative to tell you. But nobody on the Flying Pussyfoot knows the full extent of what happened that night. Like, no, not a single character. But because they're still also connected, it feels like they should, but they definitely don't. I just think that's a very interesting way of
Comparing them.
Comparing the two.
I never thought that I would be sincerely bringing up an episode of Bluey like in the middle of an anime club and you just would listen to me talk about it.
No, man. I think by the end of it, there's an actual difference, a meaningful narrative difference between the two that is fun to speculate or fun to like talk about and think about.
Hooray!
So, right, the takeaway is that I should show Baccano to my like 5-year-old niece, right?
No.
You should. No, I think you should. I think everybody deserves a
As
chance
long as
to
you
watch
can edit it down
Baccano.
to exactly 7 minutes.
The entirety of Baccano edited in 7 minutes.
If each episode got reduced to 7 minutes, man, what information would
No,
you need to
The
keep?
whole show.
Oh, the whole show.
So,
The first 30
Everything.
seconds, the first like 3 seconds is the journalist saying, "Who's the main character?" And then we do the entire OP.
the entire thing?
The
Yes.
entire OP.
Well, we like
That's a
we-
minute and a half of your 7 minutes,
we
man.
go
That's
into
2
Sony
minutes
Vegas
right there.
and we scrunch it down to make it play as fast as Sony Vegas will let us play it.
Okay.
We just speed it up.
Like
To
putting
where
all of Tarzan into a GIF. Okay.
It goes for about a minute. Isaac and Miria.
Sure.
Miriam.
Isaac, Miria! The flying pussyfoot.
And then
I'm a day
And
away.
then
I'm a
we
conductor
cut
and I'm a
to
day
Vito.
away from retirement. The Rail Tracer.
the rail tracer.
My daughter thinks I am in jail, and I am in jail. cut to a boat on the ocean in the 1700s. Put your hand on his head and think, I need to feed.
And then we cut to Chesla.
I can use these guys. Miria! Isaac! Lucky
We gotta
Gandola!
keep Miri Isaac. Lucky Gandola.
Jacuzzi
This is
Splat.
just-
Jacuzzi.
This is just an early 2000s like abridged series. This is all.
This is the abridged series of the abridged series is what's going on
Yeah.
here.
This is just a YouTube poop by now.
God, they don't
Very
make them
true,
like they
very
used
true.
to anymore.
Anyway.
Anyway.
Are we going to nominate shows this month, or are we just gonna watch Lost Song?
I think I have
Dude, fuck it. Why
I have
not?
one last question
Sure.
for stars.
Oh?
So, just to bring back something you talked about earlier, this idea that like you could easily tell that this was based on a light novel, because
Mhm.
there are some, I guess, like elements of the story that feel like they were like imperfectly translated. Or what specific parts of the show do you have in mind when you're talking about that? Like, what's the part that you look at and see, oh, yeah, this is obviously based on a book, and they couldn't do it better.
I think it's about like it's the cards saying like it's this year that then disappear away, like when it's like every episode has exactly one time that you see, whether it is 1930, 1931, 1932, or any other given year. Like exactly one time the number will pop up and then you were just kind of expected to follow. And I
Yeah.
think that like that's like a thing where it would be very easy to do in a book where it's like top of the chapter, this is when and where we are. Keep reading through and then we change over. And it's like change over a while later, et cetera, et cetera. It's like a thing that Homestuck does as well. But like it's like in a audiovisual format, like it's, in a show that can work, and like it's not wrong to discombobulate the audience a little bit, but you can tell that this was not a choice that was made specifically to discombobulate the audience, but more because this is the way that the written work tends to read as. Like, the chapters are pretty short and they bop around a lot. And like that's like something that is not bad, but that if you were purpose writing it for television, you would probably do it a little differently. Like, you would establish scenes differently, and you would make through lines a little bit more based in visual information and in like sound cues, which is not a thing that they do unless there is a specific scene that repeats. You know what I mean? Which is slightly different. And then there is like I keep coming back to that first thing where I'm like, it like the reporter and his assistant. It really deeply feels like the kind of thing that you would write into an epistolary novel as a framing device. And even though that's not how the light novels work, from what I've from the like single prologue and single chapter that I've read, it's like there is something about the way that scenes transition between time periods that makes me go. And even more than that, it's like the way that the camera will follow characters is also very like, oh, you are following these characters in part because that is part of the plot device, the framing device, but also because in a book, that's what you do is you follow one character. You can't really you can't diffuse the audience's attention across a room in the same way as you can in like an audiovisual format that you can in a book. And you can really tell because of how the camera locks onto a character and then switches, you know?
I think like the last part. No, I don't really know what you're talking about.
Oh dear. It's sort of like you can get a wider breadth of information when you are giving the audience both audio, like you are giving the audience an image to look through and sound cues to what's the word I'm looking for, to follow. Because like in a book, you are writing from a character's individual perspective, or at least from a like third person perspective, trying to deliberately direct the audience's attention to things. They have to read each individual word to know what's going on, as opposed to you can look at a single frame from Into the Spider-Verse and you go, okay, there is a motion happening, and we keep going. Like, the motion is part of an animation. Like what is moving is what's important. And what is moving and what is like if something is moving and making sound at the same time, you know it's important. That's like the whole idea. And so the way that the camera will follow characters, and characters tend to only make noise and move around when they are focal. It's like, I mean, of course that's a normal thing to do it's like in something that was purpose written for television. I have the feel like this. I have this intuition inside of me. The different languages of storytelling would denote that, for instance, like if you wanted a setting to be deeply important in a book, you would say the setting felt this way to this character, or it just is that way. Like the school loomed in front of her. Immediately, you know, okay, this girl is dreading going into this building. But like, in a show, if you just have like a candid shot of the girl looking up at the school with a kind of dreading expression, and then she walks in anyway, like you don't get the same sensation as the school is looming over her unless you go on a low shot. You have like shudders and dread sound effects, and you have like almost like a fisheye effect going around her, and then she goes and she walks in. Like, that's a different thing entirely. And like the things that you must emphasize deliberately is different from the things that you must write in deliberately. And so you can tell that this is something based on something where it was written to emphasize certain things deliberately and to conceal certain things at certain moments. But then when translating it onto a screen, you now must somehow, like, you must create scene setting and camera movement. I think it's the camera movement that really gets me. It's like camera movements and like character motions and the fact that we always start scenes on the characters that definitely were the POV characters written into a chapter and then end them on those same characters, I feel is like very indicative of like it's an always thing. Like it's very indicative of the translation from page to screen.
Like, okay, so if I understand you right, you're saying if the adaptation did not show what kind of material it was adapted from, it wouldn't be so obvious to tell which was the POV character of specific scenes.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Baccano has a lot of little directing tricks that probably obscure the I would say how probably more or how harder it was to follow along with in the light novels. Like I would imagine that following all of the different plot lines in the light novels was a lot messier, as opposed to how Baccano is directed, giving you that information. So yeah. Anyway.
Mhm.
So
Are
we
we
just...
are we gonna what was the show called? What
Lost
was
Song.
the other show called?
I'm
Lost
fine
Song.
either way.
I mean, I don't have a problem with Lost Song winning.
Lost Song
but I
will
think
never win. If we want to watch Lost Song, it's
would
not going to be a
literally
poll.
never win. Lost Song would literally never win.
you know what? Fine, let's go.
Dude, let's
Okay.
do it.
We all nominate Lost
Yeah.
Song.
We all nominate
yeah.
Lost Song
All right.
as a unit.
Fantastic. In that case, I guess we give our last X out of 10 ratings of Baccano and call it a straight. For me,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a little bit disappointed in
I'm
Baccano
voting for
coming
Lost
back
Song.
to it after 10 years or so. It's not nearly as good as I remember, either in the plot or the characters. Still fine. I give it a 7 out of 10. How about James?
Ooh, I think maybe because I'm so well versed in like non-chronologically told stories and like I just like I'm gonna give this show there's no flaws about it that I find notable, but there's also nothing that necessarily makes me go, this is one of the best versions of this type of thing that it's doing. And so for that reason, I guess I'm also going to give it a 7 out of 10, because that's the vibe that I'm getting.
Sounds good.
Sure.
Same.
Scrub?
Yeah, I'm just gonna stay here.
Okay.
Pretend that I was here the whole time.
Yeah, and what would you say is your rating of Baccano?
Lost Song.
Of Lost Souls?
Of Lost to Know.
I've lost to
Lost to
know. I'll give it a backward
song.
7.
Okay.
Backwards 7, wow.
Tenik, how about you?
Same. I mean, like, I don't know if I would say it's disappointment. Like, I didn't feel some like deep betrayal by the
You felt
community that
deeply
told me that
betrayed
this
by
was
the
like
whole thing.
peak, but like it's still I think it's well crafted enough. I wasn't bored watching it. So I think just for that, like a 7 is a fitting rating.
And Tom.
Well, yeah, I there is a lot to appreciate about Baccano. I think in terms of like Jem said, they can't think of many other shows that are as well constructed as Baccano. in what they're trying to do. Literally the only thing that I can think of genuinely is like 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim, if you guys ever played that game. That game has a linear or has a non-linear style of storytelling. It's fucking awesome. Highly recommend if anybody is into like really high sci-fi concepts and mechs and stuff. It's a very good game. That being said, Baccano, most of Baccano's characters are just there. A lot of them are fun, but they don't have like a ton going on. But I do really appreciate finishing the show for the first time. 7 out of 10.
Yay!
Wait, are we all like in complete agreement on the rating?
A 7
we
out
are
of
all
10
in
show.
complete agreement.
Unanimous.
This is like
That's
one
the
of the least
first time we
inflammatory
have ever
podcasts.
been unanimous.
Yeah.
Is that
Incredible.
true?
I think so.
Yeah, I
It
don't
feels
think there has been any other time where we were completely unanimous on the rating.
That's remarkable.
Weren't we just unanimous for?
No, we were not
What-
unanimous for Wonder Egg because
Tenet gave it a
Tenet
seven.
was like,
I didn't think it
you
was
guys
bad.
Oh, because everybody else gave it a 4 out of 10, and Tenet gave it a. Oh, okay,
7 or 8.
Yeah.
Something like that.
7.
one of them. Wow,
All
this is
right.
the first time we're all unanimous. That's
So-
crazy.
Join us next month at the Explanation Point Anime Club, where we will either be talking about Lost Song, Lost Song, Lost Song, or Lost Song. If you want to get in on this stream yourself, you can go to patreon.com/explanationpoint to find out how. And until next
Guys,
time,
I think that song's a little lost.
goodbye. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye.